Noobs!
Everything here is immediately followed by sarcastic comments and nasty responses.
Yep, we're finally where we belong.
And don't think we don't know how to weed them out.
Put a ticket in, make her gay. Put a ticket in, make her name it gay.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
That's all, brother. I had it.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
It's very good. Well, if you can't get out of it, get into it.
Welcome to Inside the Badger Den with the Angry Badger and Mr.Techrat. We're professionals. I always know exactly what I'm doing, and I never mess up. What is going on, everyone? Welcome. Welcome to somehow we have made it to 20 episodes of Inside the Badger. We certainly broke some sort of record. I know there's a consistency thing, and here we are. And more than that, here you are. But first, before I talk to the beautiful chat, what's going on, Mr. Techrat? Symbol of peace. You know, a very big fan of ours loves that you change that every time. And I love that you change it every time.
I try to make it relevant. This one has nothing to do with this week's, just a little bit of personal fun. And if anybody gets it, they get it. That's cool.
Well,
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I am fantastic. Professionally, the world is crumbling. We've lost the games that we love, but professionally, everything's going great. I'm having a great time. You guys are awesome.
Great on the side. Yeah, it's weird.
Channel's going good. Nerd Wars and I are killing it on Darwin and the Bee. I mean, Nerd Rage and the pre-F&T stream, seeing all the names we want to see. Yeah, it's great. Unfortunately, it's taking the world crumbling for that to happen. We talk about that. Really, normally when we talk about going through the week, we go beat by beat in videos, but really all the videos are about either Stellar Blade, Warhammer, or Helldivers now, because that's all anyone gives a shit about. But let's
Shout
go.
out the club.
Fuck Nagranaut, before we even started telling me to hurry up.
At
shout
the door,
out.
waiting in line.
If there's anyone from the GCA, we had a great time on there. So, I post on the Discord, and anyone from Nerd Rage or anything like that, shout out. Shout out to Doomcock. He doesn't get suggested to me anymore after this whole Kathleen Kennedy debacle. Did you hear she's leaving? Shout out to her, though, and him. Lady Arendy, thank you. I know I've seen you all day in the stream, so congratulations. Thank you for sticking in there. Is this the no pants donger show I keep hearing about? Rat, you are in fact not wearing pants, correct?
What I do below the desk is none of your business, but Sir Gods, you do whatever the hell. No, that wasn't Sir Gods. Who was that? It was Sir Gods. Yeah, you do whatever the hell you want.
R2, ack, see you everywhere. My man, Alec Baldwin's finger. Saw you guys this morning. It's great.
Nice.
I love it. It's the best. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Let's do it. Let's get it cooking. Shout out. I was going to say proficial, but Rat doesn't know that. Have you heard the proficial, that's a new word?
No, I think I'm falling apart on a lot of things, and I'm happier, so it's kind of strange.
It all comes tumbling down, much like the Tumblr hires that they use at Disney Animation. Hail chat, yes, and the mods. There we go. It's up to 199 and the GCA. Yeah, I saw Mo Zamboni get his super chat read out on the 300 episodes of FNT. Man, I realize I have been watching it since 2018. 2018 just feels like 2 years ago. And it's fucking 6 years ago.
Right, but look, we're already at 20.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And they did the math that 300 was, so 300 episodes, 6, another 6 years for them to get to 600. It would be 6 years of the show for us to get to 300. I'm here for it.
Yeah, what else are you doing?
Vagabundo, Devon, what's going on? So many names and thumbnails that I recognize from all the good fun
speaking
things.
of thumbnails, you have been killing it on the thumbnails lately.
I know. I do get the occasional, oh, look at this asshole using AI thumbnails, but the vast majority of them are Badger. I love your thumbnails. I get it. They're little comics, things like that. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. They're supposed to be little comics that are about, right? I'm doing it. We've already done. It's not about the path behind me, but the path that whatever the fuck. The path, what does he say in the Matrix? It's not about the path in front of me, but the path behind me, like all the things we've struggled to get towards. So speaking of a path and a long journey, because this sort of sets us off, the big highlight of last week was, of course, the Stellar Blade censorship that, if we're still going with the narrative and the plan, is not Sony's the big bad here. It is not Shift Up. And so the plan from Grummz was to everyone to cancel their PlayStation Plus. If you have one, cancel it. Only buy the physical copy of Stellar Blade, and then don't update it, because if you update it, that'll be all the censorship, which is let's show you just a little bit of what we're fighting for here. So these are some of the outfits you could see. On the left is the original, and on the right is the patched. So the plan is to, essentially protest by blaming this all on Sony. And then there's the petition, the hashtag Free Stellar Blade petition, which, like, 4 of my videos are about, because honestly, I thought people would be like, why do you keep talking about this? But every video, more and more people were like, oh, I found the petition. I signed it. I signed the petition. And I was like, okay, great. Let's remember. What are we fighting for? It's a great song. Yeah, it's not just this. It's, even if you don't want to like the booby angle, it's the censorship that they promised that they wouldn't, and then they did, and that people paid for one thing and then they changed it after the fact. Shout out to Lod689, also
coming out firing
everywhere. The man is everywhere. So the petition is now at 75. Spoiler, I put one of these videos for the tomorrow morning, but hashtag Free Stellar Blade has hit 75,000. His next goal is, I thought he should have put 100,000, but he's going for 150,000 as his next goal. But still, it's going strong. Let's see. Love to become Puritans. Oh no, they're super. They're like the actual bigots and zealotries. It's super ironic. So the thing with the petition and the canceling of these subscriptions is it is working. It's working.
Oh my God in heaven.
Jesus Christ. There's not even 20 people watching. Alec Baldwin's finger. He don't miss.
The man pays it forward.
Bro.
Got gifted and gifted like crazy. You guys
went nuts earlier on FNT 300. I was like, no one will be super chatting or anything like that. And by the way, rightly so, because it blows me away how you guys can consistently bounce, and FNT deserve it. That's a long way to say thank you. Thank you. We don't deserve it. Chat is king. I got to get that video from Erwin about praising and that you guys are loved. I got hit and panicked. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
bro. So everyone's green now. I'll be honest, I'm all about the booby angle. Yeah, sorry. Let me go back to that for a second before I show something else real quick. So yeah, so that's that, right? Okay, so this is the first actual video from the week. We're going to start about this, and this was that GameSpot editor Jessica Cogswell describes petition and plan to uncensor Stellar Blade as the most unhinged behavior I've seen in quite some time. Fucking spoiler, you're about to now see the most unhinged behavior ever, including them putting a hit on Grummz, because that's a fun event that actually happened in our timeline. All right, back to boobs just for a little bit. Thank you. See,
did somebody say Sydney Sweeney?
I didn't even see him say it, but I heard it. And when I switched back, I saw the boobs. So that was the first one, right? Hello to put him back. We don't have a fight. Go ahead. You do it. King bigot, king of the gays, king of the grifting, king of it all, really. I think he should just have the crown on all the time, but he only does it for special. Much like the McRib, he only does it for special occasions.
Welcome to the den, Boricua.
Shout out. Oh, what is going on?
I don't
shout out
asking questions.
Garrett Grant gifted one angry. Thank you. Beware the dog. Like that hat. See, we are very multicultural and ethnic backgrounds around here. And we actually are. We are an open. I want to say community because that's little commie shit. All right. Can't have this on because I actually have to look at so the meltdown began with that, right? The meltdown began with that. Going here, hold on, let me go back to this. Do you have any plan? If you had the ability, because I know you just got your PC, right? So now you can start getting all those goodies. Did you have any desire to play a Stellar Blade?
Yes and no. To be fair, it's not my cup of tea. Like just in the
boobies or just the gameplay?
Yeah, no, the genre. It has nothing to do with the boobs, believe it or not. The fact that it's just not my style. Like I don't like Final Fantasy per se. So
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Shrapnel Badger, I don't care if you found me late as long as you found me, baby.
Yeah.
Congratulations, welcome here. And yeah, this is the next one. Putting a hit on someone, anyone is obviously fucked up and should put that person in. First of all, Tone Man or whatever it was, like he deleted his he deleted his social media.
Time between you posting and me making the short for that one, it was already gone.
Yeah, but yeah, he did. Let's sorry, I know you guys hate scrolling. But there we go. Tone Man, 20K to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. Now I know that could be a joke. I'm sure it was a joke, but like the whole point was the hypocrisy that we can't joke that way. Could you imagine if any one of us said that, how quickly we would be banned forever? As a brown man myself, we need more blonde white women. Where the white women at? Fuck you. I know. Be sure to like, and yes, do it. I'm doing all the shilling. It's true. Shout out Charlie Nuclear. Look at that. You can guess what that says. It's hieroglyphics. Shout out We're Run and Ack to R2. I love you guys. Look at you. Every time showing up. So yeah, put a bounty on him. Whether you're joking or not, that is the situation. If anyone would have done that, like I wouldn't have a channel anymore. Excuse me. And trust me, there's probably a couple people I might want to put a bounty on, but not for this, Ryan Johnson. But I never would. First of all, the Hitman market is probably booming right now. But it is a crime. And later on, when someone else doubles down on that, we're going to find out that Grummz straight up asked for the FBI to be involved in. But something also maybe what some people might want to have the FBI involved in is there's been this ongoing thing. Look, everyone is consumed with Stellar Blade and Warhammer and Helldivers, and I'm all for it. But also, for the people that aren't aware, yeah, Disney has gone full woke, like in their parks too, and that includes having trans, like full on. It's one thing to have men and women playing the face character or the costumed characters, because obviously we all knew, right, that like the Mickeys and the Minnies were played by both men and women as long as they had the stature.
The whole thing was covered.
Yeah. So, this all came out that a family that went there, of course, paid a bunch of expensive money for a meet and greet. They met the evil queen and very tall, very bassy, and a whole scandal. And then, of course, trying to back him up, they wouldn't answer the actual question whether it was a biological male. And it just begs the question of at what point do we start drawing the line? And of course, everyone made the comparisons. Oh, so could a white actress,
right?
Could a white actress play Tiana? Could we pull a blackface on? And what are we doing?
I think one of the problems is that you're at a place of make believe, right? So I understand you trying to go along that line of argument, but at the same
you want to
time,
steel man the argument for it.
You're super riding that line. Yeah, it's too much.
That's not the type of make believe we meant.
Yeah. Too much. You're wearing the wrong costume in the wrong land.
When we said fairy godmother, we didn't mean a man with a mustache. We meant a actual magical fairy with like pixie dust.
This person is Fairly a god. Oh my god! Did you hear that Fairly Odd Parents is coming back to Nickelodeon? Guess what they've changed, my friend?
Something gay?
No, they changed the main character from a young white boy to a young black female.
Put a chick in it, make her gay. Put a chick in it and make her name it gay.
Yeah, we got to get one that's updated. You know, unironically, I would be all right with this. Gilliam. Yeah, I would totally be all right. Then it was funny because I was thinking, I was like, damn, even before these statues, like, do you remember the world? I think it's called New World. It's like Colin Farrell and the bitch that plays the Native American in every single movie. But the point, she was like 14 at the time, and it was like scandalous because Farrell and her shared a kiss. I think Christian Bale's. It's the Pocahontas story, but like the realistic version. That's a long way to say that like it wasn't some white woman playing it. It was, we had already learned like, hey, maybe we should get indigenous people to play indigenous roles.
As you politely stated, the bitch that's in everything.
Well, that'll get the Angry Badger, the bitch that said everything 2024. Yeah, she was. When I show you her face, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, she does.
Oh yeah.
But the point was, it was like they went full retard with that, and then like everyone has to play and be the role because only we can tell, and then that's the whole inclusion bullshit. So that was like the one story. So getting right back into the Stellar Blade drama, and Hypnotic, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but this one is for you. This your girl right here, Alyssa. I almost said it like he did with the R at the end. Alyssa. All the East Coast put R's at the end. Alyssa Mercanti. Because someone tried to correct me in the chat that it's Mercanti, and I had to laugh. I was like,
"It's just how you say it on the East Coast."
While I have heard it both ways, and while I would accept Alyssa, it is most certainly Mercanti. Little exclamation mark put up there. But basically, she talks shit. This is another one where she called us all. I won't leave that on screen because it's another one where she called us all bigots,
hate crime,
and the phobes and the ists and sexualizing. Meanwhile, she was busy thirst trapping all over the Hades 2 characters and talking about step on me, mommy, and like this is the way to do it. Blah 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 blah. So it's again more rules for me, not for thee. A lot of buzzwords in this table. Shout to bro. Yeah, let's see. I better be careful because I don't want to pull a Hypnotic and have her legal team contact me, even though I think that just meant her on an alternate email saying, stop saying mean things about me. She probably likes it when people talk dirty about her. I think she got a kink personally.
Giggity.
Yeah, it's just me. Her OnlyFans, it's not like anyone is subscribed to that.
Somebody's watching.
Thank you. Okay, good. Just for clarification.
Safe if he's safe, right?
Yeah, shout out, bro. I saw people apparently were talking shit about your the man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of chicks dig a man. It's like the mystery. The man in the mask.
And then it gets real weird real quick, and they got safe words and shit.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask. Yeah, shout out though. Oh God. Purge me, daddy. All right. Speaking of daddy and simping, this is an actual factual one, and this is probably the end game. There's different motivations for every reason. Stellar Blade is currently, depending on who you ask, messed up or being messed up. Helldivers is most certainly shot themselves in the foot, and Warhammer, much like Marvel has done, setting up with a bunch of unpopular characters. It's like pseudo retcons and shit, so that when they do it in their live action, they go, well, we did it in the comics, even though it was the past year and it wasn't popular. Warhammer is making a bunch of changes, and it's looking more and more, and we've had 2 separate sources back up that all this shit is done because of the live action. It's done because we know for a fact that Amazon Studios, like most studios, have inclusion standards, and because of course they wouldn't just let us have one. Pineapple.
You son of a bitch. Although you aren't.
Were you going to say that?
I was going to type pineapple, and I was like, no, pomegranate, something good, and you went with pineapple.
Yeah, that's just
kind of weird.
We don't actually have to say for that just because I've known you for 20 plus years, but pineapples are good. You always want to pick what's the one that they get strawberry, like some generic shit like that. But pineapple, you know why I said pineapple? Because I was thinking Gary likes pineapple on pizza. There was a whole thing, and so I just said pineapple. Don't know why. Yeah. Word association.
That's good.
Speaking of word association, when I hear Warhammer, I think they're gonna fuck Henry over. That's my exact word association, because this man is like a fucking magnet. He's a magnet for bad luck. It happened to him in Witcher, where
well, it's weird because he gets really good luck, and then it hits him with the bad luck.
That's
you
like
get a movie, and then you get hit. You get a show, you get hit.
Good, right? He gets Superman.
Yeah.
But then he gets Zack Snyder, who makes him all boo boo bee boo and not hopeful and right. Okay, but he does as best as he can with the work, right? And it's like then he gets Witcher and he plays it perfectly. He plays Geralt like Geralt from the games, and he's consistent with the books, and he doesn't call the fans to talk about it. But then the writers' room fucking hates his guts, and they don't like him. And I mean, shout out to Bo DeMeo, the former showrunner for X-Men '97, who pointed this all out, right? That all of they are gone. That they didn't like him, and that all that bull shit about him being difficult was simply the fact that he was sticking up for the lore and the respect of the character. Shout out to Mo Zamboni. Thank you again for having me on the GCA, me and Erwin. That was a great time, anytime. And this is what it is. It's the definition of the Iron Age, of the fans like meeting each other and being like, hey, we could do this, man. And I mean, I'll just say this. A lot of people decide to start a channel, and I know some people want to start a channel. Not everyone is made out for it. Mo Zamboni, you got that spark, kid. You got sand. I see something in it. So, like, congratulations. Just keep going. Don't stop. Yeah, man.
It's funny.
Keep on. Go on. I was going to do the Ryan Roger Athay of keep on going, keep on growing, and you too will go far as a rising star. Probably owe him 20 cents for doing that. But yeah, sorry. What were you going to say, Rat?
Nothing. It's cool, man. It's like a bunch of people. Like, remember when you were kids and you would meet, out in the neighborhood, and you were like, "Hey, friends." You're just meeting a bunch of like-minded people, and you get along.
So you don't know, the GCA met at like the meetups, the shit that we've tried to go to several times.
Oh, it's gonna be fun as hell when we do.
Yeah, when we eventually do. Yeah, and where the hell is John? I have not seen him.
Missing in action.
Yeah, he does, and he's been on with Erwin and I before, and I look forward to going on with him with again. We're adding a day at some point, probably a Sunday, and that's the show that we're going to start having guests on. But unfortunately,
I feel
Erwin
like
and I are too retarded, and go back and forth too quickly to have someone else start talking on the Saturday stream. So we will be adding though one to have people on. Yeah, good. I'm not the only one that noticed this. So he's probably doing, we talk about weaponized autism. He's probably doing a deep dive.
I think he said
something.
Last weekend when we were doing this, he said he wasn't home. I believe he was out on vacation or doing something. So he's out there somewhere.
All right. So getting back to this, the rub of this is, and this was later backed on by Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin, who was on Open Bar. It was really just him and Grummz, but they were on Open Bar and they had some great conversations about it. We always say the hard R around here. Sometimes we do the A. Nutella. No, shout out though. So they were on Open Bar. That'd be cool to be on Open Bar someday. Anyway, Zing? Yeah, no. They really pointed out that they're not even making miniatures of these new custodies. This was done as a capitulation. They wanted Games Workshop apparently fought this, and that they wanted full-on female Space Marines. And Games Workshop, who is I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. I am. Shame me. Basically, they did this as they were forced to, because they knew if they did female Space Marines, they would riot. Because even in the lore, it says biological women can't undergo the gene seed process, which is what makes Space Marines. But Custodian's like the better version, like the ultimate version. And so this is sort of a win, and they're going to get there. But no one likes it. Thought we wouldn't notice it, but we did. And the Warhammer fans ratioed the Games Workshop video on the Custodies, the female Custodies, which, like, it didn't straight out say, hey, like, women are Custodies, but it said, instead of describing it as male, as a child, they just describes it as child. Nondescript.
Yeah, a lot of ratioing going on lately.
Yeah, well, I'm really actually impressed by it. I'm impressed by the amount of downvoting, and we're going to talk about it in a second. But yeah, the downvoting of trailers, and it's like, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We didn't direct anyone to that. Yeah, that would be later on.
For sure.
So we had the Jennifer Cogswell. I did a video about Gary losing his press passes for Comic-Con, but it appears that he just boomered that. Either way, he did clear it up that, okay, he's got it back. He's got it back, but he didn't clear it up whether or not it was just him boomering or not. Did a reaction to Critical Drinker talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I liked it. I think people just wanted a 10 out of 10, and it was an 8 out of 10. What are you going to do? Let me know when you watch it on streaming. Yeah. Henry wasn't wasted in it. So at least one movie where Henry wasn't fucked over entirely, which he was in Argyle. And then, I mean, what are you going to do? He at least got some action scenes. Speaking of something that didn't get action scenes, and this is one of those literal definitions of go woke, go broke. I stopped playing it, but Sweet Baby Inc., much like Disney, never recouped its losses for Star Wars. Remedy never made its money for Alan Wake 2. They are still in the negative because everyone stopped playing.
I never started.
Yeah, I know. I was a real big fan. Really did. I played the original one like 3 different systems. Played American Nightmare, was into the lore, bought Alan Wake 2 to play as Alan Wake 2, and played most of the time as Saga Anderson, boring, uninspired character. I said it, even if they didn't race swap her, even if Sweet Baby Inc. didn't come in and help, because it's still dubious whether they decided to do it before or after. Personally, you could sell me on the fact that Remedy, who is already woke, decided, hey, we better black this character up, right? We need diversity somewhere. Let's make Saga black. We'll just say one parent is black. Unfortunately, they decided her father, which means that you turn her black father into an absentee father. Stereotype that sort of goes against the ESG, but whatever. They're pretty, they don't really give a shit. Either way, I don't want to play as another character for 50% of the time. And I highly suspect that that's what Sweet Baby Inc. did. When they came in, they go, oh, you have a black character that's a woman and she's a bit part? Let's make her 50% of the character, give her agency. What is the Alan Wake story? Sounds super
Quick
lame.
review.
Nah. So like the original one, Alan Wake is a writer with writer's block. He's like a Stephen King type writer. And so he goes to a small town, it's like Deer Falls, like it's called, to try and get through his writer's block. And while he's on this little island, his wife disappears, and there's he starts finding pages of a book he's yet to write, and the pages start becoming true, basically. Sorry guys, getting sleepy. No worries, Goku. Thank you for showing up, my bro. Thank you, appreciate it. Modern audiences mean brainwashed decades from now. Yeah, or currently brainwashed in DTS. So yeah, the first one's great, and then it's all about this darkness and evil, and he has to fight it, and he uses light to blast away the darkness, and then you can kill him with conventional weapons. Thought it was really good. American Nightmare is a little bit more action focused, but still decent. Either way, that second one, I think they've even talked about it. Even if you get rid of all the agenda, it's sort of just boring. Just like one big cinematic. So are you excited? I think we've talked about this. The only thing actually about Marvel that we're excited about is Deadpool, correct? Let's see, Badger, which would you rather, a 1969 International Scout or a 1981 Bronco? I'll go with the Bronco just because shout out to OJ. Rat, which one would you rather have?
Ooh, okay, so that's sort of an if you know, you know, because I will take the Scout.
Yeah. I don't know, because famously, I don't know shit about cars. Rat is the car dude. So what's the difference? Why would you take one over the other besides the 69 probably looks a lot better and gets better gas mileage?
I mean, it's probably a personal taste, but I mean, who wants a Ford, right?
Fix up on the regular, whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, Bly, dude. It's like I bought the original, then I bought the remastered on the one, and then I bought it again on like the series. It is it still holds up, by the way. It's like, man, they completely changed the gameplay of it. They've changed the flow of combat. It was easier. Alan is stuck in the dark place the entire time. Found on road dead for it. Yeah. Alec Ball, what do you check? Finger, what do you trust? Because you're out there on the oil fields, was it fire watching and stuff? I lose track. That might be Hayden. Alec, either way, Alec, when you're out there shooting shit, what do you repair? What do you use? Let's see. This dude like Volvos. Yeah, everyone has a card that you use the do you have a 50 cal in the back? You got a technical?
You went like old school Toyota.
The famous old school Toyotas. Yeah, we had a friend that used a Camry that lasted a good long 20,000 years, basically.
Shout out. See them
despite,
tomorrow.
Despite killing it, absolutely
Sending
killing
it.
By the way, we're almost done
Yeah.
and caught up, and that is because
Land
I'm not
Cruiser.
shitting you. At least almost all these videos are about the Stellar Blade Petition, which it really was. It started to slow down a little bit. Like I said, we've hit 75. Them going on open bar and I'm obviously shilling it, but like getting word. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Thank you. It is Hayden with the oil fields right on Firewatch. He has a Tundra. Good. So no one has
There you
Fords.
go.
There you go. Yeah. No, honestly, Alec, have you ever said exactly what you do? I always see you with guns, so I always assumed you were like either a firearms like instructor or something along those lines, but you might just be like someone really base that loves the Second Amendment. Shout out to Reinhardt. I know you couldn't be here last week, even though you showed up to tell us you couldn't be here. That's classy.
Classy as hell.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, yeah, that's what we were going to talk about. I was like, what the hell was the next one? We're getting more MCU. Would that surprise you?
Yay.
We've heard it forever. Oh, that's way more profitable. No wonder you can afford to buy all the guns and support us all. Yeah, never mind. You make all the tech bank. Good. Awesome.
Call me later.
There you go. I say, Tech Alec Baldwin's finger, meet Mr.Techrat. You guys are going to love each other. What we won't love is, and here's the thing, they're almost all the X-Men women we love, and they're done right. But you know, with these writers, they will not do them right. They will make them insufferable. And since, remember we talked about that tactic of making a change in the lore at the last second? Yeah, they're going to do that. Shout out to Gooch, Diabolical Souls. Yo, what up, my bro? How are you? Thank you. Thank you. Gooch always shows up. Respect. Hypnotic always shows up too. I love it. See, people say Hypnotic is mean and bigoted, and people don't say that, but probably. But either way, he's not. He's lovely once you get to know him. Yeah, this is a long way to say they're going to mess this up, and they're probably going to add Kamala Khan as a mutant, right? Because now Kamala Khan is the first. I like Iman Vellani.
I know. That's what's hard about it is that she's fine. Do it. But it's like you said, they're going to write them all in such a shit way.
They're all horrible cooks. And so no matter how good of ingredients you give them, it's almost more offensive when they muck it up. And muck it up, they do. Speaking of, and we were talking about this, we didn't do this. There was no organized ratio, the Mufasa trailer.
It's just facts.
It did get ratioed, and they put it on apparently this is a tactic that they use a lot of the time where they change it to for kids, and then you can't have a comment section. Yeah. Speaking of comment section, didn't realize you could. I turned on the chat replay for this one. So when replaying, everyone's replay, the chat will come as just as you guys are saying it. So it doesn't look like we're talking to ourselves, even though we do frequently do that. So at the time of this one, you can see, bro, 107,000 upvotes to 237 downvotes. This is the other day. So I guarantee you this is like 300 plus at this point. That is a good sign. That is a sign that Disney done fucked up on multiple levels. They fucked up on their parks, the whole trans queen things, the everything at Walt Disney Land and World, the Ron DeSantis stuff, the Reedy Creek scandals, the Gina Carano stuff, the continued failure of movie and show after movie and show. They've got X-Men 97, which everyone likes right now, and they've got Deadpool and Wolverine. Other than that, it's all bad. Yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm again, it's one of those things where it's harder as a person who grew up with things like Lion King, right? And you go, this wasn't needed. This wasn't needed.
Well, and that was the worst part about that too, is he acted like we were talking shit on the original Lion King.
No. And it's also a slap in the face again, because you go, well, we did tell them to make something original. I mean, I guess it's what they're trying to do, but it comes off wrong.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what gay or trans lions we have. Oh my fucking god! I hope they do it. Oh,
you want to
see
God, a
and
male
baby in
lion?
Heaven, let them do trans and gay lions and the fucking Lion King. I'm asking for this. I am unironically asking for you to have gay and trans lions in the Lion King. Please, I would be so fucking happy. That you can't write a better parody than that. Holy shit. That's a parody of a parody, and they might do it. Hakuna Matata. What a gender fluid phrase. Hakuna Matata. It means non-binary days. Yeah, I can't wait. It means trans your children and make them patients for life. Yeah, just do it. Go ahead. Go full blown. Oh, please. And then let me go on a rant and have 1-800-DANKY animate a talking badger talking about trans and gay lions. I don't ask for much, but that is what I want for fucking Christmas. That is what I want for Christmas. A non-binary lion wants his... And I hope that, like, its hair is dyed purple from, like, savannah fruit or something. Yeah. Please. And have a section where it's like super edgy and looking into the reflection of like a savannah pond and using a sharp rock to like scrape its head into like a half shaved. I'll write it for them. I'll identify. Right now. I am a Latin and I'm queer. Let me write this for you. Please. What do I have to checkbox to get in and write this movie?
Heard it
now?
Here first.
You got me jazzed up because look,
that was a good one.
Gary from Nerdrotic is right. Let's go full retard. Let's go full retarded.
Yeah, let him have it.
Let's have rampancy. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Let's just make full on tranny lions. I'm here for it. All right, and you know what? Mark you down on the calendar. Sir God's called it. If it happens, you heard it here first. Put that in your envelope. We'll talk about it later. So, okay. So, get back to Stellar Blade because I know people who care about that. The petition had been chugging along. I think at the time of this, it was around 60,000 likes or signatures rather. And Stellar Blade, this is what we've gotten back from them so far. Thanks to all our Stellar Blade fans for your passion and feedback. Stay tuned for updates. Now, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. The passion and feedback, boy, that could be like the way we've yelled and screamed and all that. Like, I'm assuming that has to mean the petition, right? And all of the targeted, has to. No way they can ignore it. Will they change? Well, not looking like they're going to yet, because it seems like, much like the Helldivers thing, which we will talk about, it's all Sony doing it. It's all Sony doing it. The odds of bestiality, yeah, there's just going to be some, like, I just never really said what time period it was in, but you might just see some random hunter get punished, if you know what I'm saying, for entering their territory. Speaking of transing all the things, a very interesting thing is going to start happening is you're going to see a lot of celebrities who were oh so vocal about it be oh so quiet about it now that more studies come out and now that more detransitioners speak forward and come forward. And that's where this came from. All the comments about Danny here, Danny Radcliffe, who owes his entire fucking existence and career to JK, makes him sad that JK is decrying of, and by the way, this is the most polite headlines putting it this way from Bounding, decrying transgender ideology make him really sad. Do you believe that?
Yeah, he didn't want to go down with her, so he thought, well, I'll step on top of her head for a second.
Well, it's one of those weaponized, we like to talk about weaponized compassion. He definitely has He thinks this is like, maybe like the anti-gay sentiment originally. And it's like, it's not, it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother different level. Coming out as gay didn't make you a lifelong medical patient. You could change your mind and there were no irreversible effects to your body. Unless maybe your booty hole was blown out if you got a little irresponsible. But other than that, pretty reversible.
I feel bad for people who are going through this that did not need to.
Thought you were going to say you feel bad for blowing out a couple
for the
of
blown out booty holes. No, man, blow that shit out.
You don't feel bad about that, but you do feel bad. No, you should feel bad, and that's the point. Unfortunately, that's what it's going to take. It's a lot like in the movie industry when we complain about things. It has a lot more weight
damn well
when someone actually in the industry says something. And Gary talks about it all the time. Yeah, you can tell us we're on target all day long. helps a lot more when you are one of the people to say it. And that's the same thing with this whole trans ideology. We can say it all day long and get dismissed, but when the actual detransitioners come out and be like, oh yeah, I was lied to, and it turns out it was just a bunch of gay people or autistic people or confused people or social contagion, and then what do you know? Before you know it, your zipper chest. Gotta watch out for that booty hole blowout. You really do. Hashtag booty hole blowout. You gotta watch out for it, because there's not AAA on the side of the road for everything.
Not to be confused with the after effects of eating Taco Bell or McDonald's.
Hey, I think you can get booty hole blowout from several different sources. Some of them are more damaging and less recoverable. Homeboy in American History X definitely got booty hole blowout, but that was a karmic thing. Speaking of karma, and back to this one, this whole article was basically about actually I'm not going to read it because it was a big long tweet thing, but it was basically about JK reading this new study that just shows that, like, yeah, the majority of these people coming out here, let me see. The rationale for early puberty suppression remains unclear, with weak evidence regarding the impact on gender dysphoria, mental or psychosocial health. And then basically saying that the majority of these people are simply gay. Oh, here we go. The people who have been deemed opponents, they deem people far right, the opponents, and then the checks and balances, we just want them in place for people that end up just being autistic, gay, or abused kids, groups that are all overrepresented at gender clinics and left sterilized, inorgasmic, lifelong patients. And that's what we constantly try, because for some reason, unfortunately, the root of all evil still is the money. Is the reason for everything. But I guess if you were getting $70,000 a pop to invert a penis and make a vajiji, you would, right? You just sell your soul, do 3 or 4 a day.
I did it for less.
Yeah,
I pulled it Bart Simpson.
Sell your soul, not do vaginoplasty. You would never do vaginoplasty for less than 70,000. I know that much.
No, I do it pretty cheap, but it's late, it's dark.
Booty hole blowout. Yeah. Well, you got a weak immune system, boy.
No, it's just I'm tired of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
My body's shifting. What's the Star Trek lingo? I'm moving power from one thing to another, and it's just losing. You do have to. Oh, look at this here. Hey,
Hashtag booty hole blowout. He was summoned, much like Grafweb is summoned by. I could try and summon him, but yeah. This guy, bro, you missed earlier when Alec Baldwin's finger dropped 20 gifted memberships. And then, of course, shout out to Laud for one and Garrett Grant for one, because we're all about diversity and we're open here. Yeah, shout out to Darwin. You guys remember Darwin, right? This guy, he is a gaming journalist. What else is he? He's a gaming journalist. He's the editor for Everyone. He is a movie reviewer.
I was gonna say he's a very nice man who's seen fuck all movie wise.
he watched Commando earlier. He gave it an 8, which I think is a solid score. He gave Ghostbusters an 8 too. And we went back and forth, basically quoting the entire movie because the movie is one big quote.
I'm so proud of you. Irwin.
I'm so proud too. I'm never gonna have kids. Your offspring and Irwin, I get such satisfaction from. I will die one day, but at least a little bit of me will live, spread on through you. Giggity.
That's awkward.
No, it's great. Baby, if you want to give it an 8.5, you can't just be giving 8.5s willy nilly. Give myself an 8.5 if I could, but I guess that would be irresponsible. Let's talk about some good news real quick. Let's talk about some good news, and that was the fact that the best of us, there's 2 people that I consider the best of us, and that is obviously the Critical Drinker and Gary from Nerdrotic. No. How dare you? You are. You're the best, better than me for sure. But Gary was on the Will Kane show, which I know who the fuck is the Will Kane. Well, while watching it, he goes on to say that he used to be in sports and blah, blah, blah. And he works for Fox News. And Gary thought he was just going to be on a podcast, and he ended up on actual factual foxnews.com.
Pretty based ass dude.
It was very entertaining.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy my time with it. Gary got a lot of good points across. In fact, you know what? Let's just watch the first introduction, because if you think, I mean, we might just be angry, white angry incels, whatever the fuck they call us, but the fact that Gary and Drinker have made it on multiple cable live action. I know this is it's just a website, but still, it's still Fox News. It's really inspiring. This is not just us, old man screams at clouds. They really are doing something. You pull that up that you're laughing. Pull it up. Oh god, there you go. Sorry, I'm telling you to pull the chat. There you go. You never watched Boy and His Dog? Yeah, I have, and that's, I believe, what Fallout is based on. The Boy and His Dog. All right, let's watch just the first introduction of Gary on the Will Kane Show.
Snoozepodcast.com.
It feels like we were sort of in a golden age of entertainment. It was almost too much to watch. And then almost it felt like overnight, everything turned to crap. Let's discover why. Let's discuss what happened.
And by overnight, I think he means the moment Trump got elected and everyone lost their fucking minds. And then, yeah, so like from 2016, but started in 2013, but like for sure from 2016, and I think 2018 was peak woke.
Happened with Nerdrotic. Now on the Will Kane Show, streaming live at foxnews.com, on the Fox News YouTube channel. It's also on the Fox News Facebook page. Hit subscribe, and you can watch any of our, for example, debates. Earlier this week, by the way, with Rebecca Heinrichs of the Hudson Institute over the war in Ukraine, responding to our conversation, debate with David Sachs, former COO of PayPal over the war in Ukraine, or a debate with liberal streamer Destiny from a week ago. Just hit subscribe right now on YouTube. Here's a comment.
I hear Jeremy tell me to
Sarah
respect
Gold,
the grift.
by the way, you comment. We'll interact with you. We want to hear your
You
comment.
ran it through in its entirety.
Gary's going mainstream now. So Gary Beekler is also Nerdrotic. He's one of the biggest.
That's also the best I've actually heard his name pronounced. Beekler, because it sounds like Wiegler, but it is fucking the German names.
Streamers on YouTube across.
Okay. Well, Alec, since you're the big boss around here, do you want us to watch? You want us to just keep watching, or you just want to watch a little bit of this? But you let me know.
Internet. He's got well over 1 million subscribers. He reviews pop culture.
We'll talk about it and pause as we go through.
And entertainment. And he's been doing it for quite some time. Gary, I don't know. This is you going mainstream. This might be me going mainstream on YouTube.
I don't know about that. I just went to Vegas. I put on a couple pounds, so that's the only bigger I feel right now. But yeah,
got it, bud.
and anybody who watches me knows I'm a huge gaming fan, massive gamer, play all the time. No, you were talking earlier about like where all this started, and as far as the customer movement, I hate the word consumer. It really did start with Gamergate, right?
By the way, I love that he said, I hate the word customer. I think Will Kane corrects himself at one point. Like, really smart. It means he was actively listening to Gary.
And used the wordage that he did. Yeah.
Bro, the amount of respect that Gary and Drinker like get from people, it is very interesting. I love that. Like, game recognizes game. I don't know what it is.
Gamergate has some very nefarious origins that we don't need to get into, but ultimately it was a customer movement. It was fans going, I've loved this stuff for so long and something feels a little off. All of a sudden you hate us. And the royal you here is the gaming industry and some of.
And by the way, when he said that, I thought he was talking about the movie industry, because that was it was like, oh, you hate us. And again, the first time I really noticed that was maybe Furiosa got a little bit of it when people didn't like Furiosa, but the big one obviously was Rey and Captain Marvel, those two. And I'm trying to think of which one was first, but yeah,
of the designers and mostly the journalism.
Shout out.
Entertainment journalism.
Have a good one.
Has been a poison, has been cancer to fandom for well over a decade now. When it used to be just, hey, let's review a game or let's review a movie or a comic book. And then it became, well, the biggest problem here is the fans, obviously, the toxic fans.
Which isn't it shocking how apparently every single fandom is 90% toxic, bigoted fans? Isn't it crazy how that worked out, that they just went almost like a witch hunt trying to replace All the bigoted fans.
Who was bigoted about the Mufasa trailer?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, you know what actually that makes me think immediately, Gary? So before I was at Fox, I don't know how familiar you are with me or my career, and I don't assume that you need to be or are, but I was in sports for 5 years. I was at ESPN, and I had the Will Kane show on ESPN, and I don't know that I rationalized an analogy to what you just described in gaming, but I could instinctively feel this. I came at sports from the prism of a fan. Look, I wasn't a pro athlete, and I wasn't a sports journalist. And one of the things I noticed was the antipathy towards the fan in sports. It's like, everything became an attack on the fan. And before you know it, every fan playing.
And Nerd Wars, you might want to stream back. You missed a great bit about them making all the lions gay and trans in the Lion King Mufasa.
It was a good rant.
I think that's going to be a classic.
The what's the game where the circle game became making a white.
They're going to replace them with people from Tumblr. That's why they hired animation artists from Tumblr that were more influencers than artists, so that they could hire fucking Generation Z. It's literal delusional thinking.
Supremacist symbol, right? And then every fan's a racist, and it was driven by, it felt like, the sports journalists who hated the people that are actually, as you point out, the customers of the entire business, the entire model of sports. And I wanted to center my show on hey, I love fans. Fans are what makes this thing go around.
Now I instantly got the Angry Badger will remember that respect for him when he said that, because as Gary, the one thing if he teaches you anything is never respect your fans or your customers. Hey, did you know you used to own a comic shop? Because one thing he learned at that comic shop: never disrespect the customer or your customer base, the fans. And then, at least with YouTube, is the fact that no one owns a fan base. We all share them. And that's true, because I'm in everyone's chat, just like you guys are in everyone's chat.
Not just from a business standpoint, but from a passion standpoint. I'm a passionate fan. And why do you hate the passionate fan of sports? It's fascinating that journalism did the same thing in gaming.
Your journalism recognized early that the fan was eventually, whether it was subliminal or not, the fan was eventually going to become their competition, because thanks to social media, good or bad, we're more connected now than ever, and our opinions are out there, right or wrong, and so many of us are not afraid to give them now. And that really bothers creatives, and that really bothers the journalists who had a lot of power over the creatives. The creatives basically had to go to them to get their thing pushed out, and it was a very symbiotic relationship for a long time. I use the term shill because that's mostly what they were.
And ironically, it was a form of gatekeeping. Isn't it fun? And I just want to say, hi, Bob. They also hate the past, which is why they're constantly fucking trying to rewrite it. And it's really frustrating if you watch any movie from the 80s or 90s that's fucking filled with diversity and women. And it's whoa, I thought this didn't exist. Yeah. So, and then it's not also that it's never good enough. It's that as soon as they get to their mythical spot, well, then they would have nothing left to crusade about. So they move the bar, and they just keep moving the bar. We were great. We had Will and Grace on. Gay people were fine. They were being written. Black people were being written. Everything was progressing just fine. And racism was a thing of the past for the most. But yeah, there was some crazy assholes here and there. Because of that, they literally had to start making the shit up and creating it. And they have created more homophobes and transphobes and racists in the last 5 years with their ideology.
We were getting along, and they wanted us to argue and bitch about it.
Yeah. So I always talk about it. We got to be careful not to turn a pendulum into a wrecking ball. And right now, holy shit, they're turning it into a wrecking ball.
We weren't getting honest opinions pretty much ever, right? And then when guys like myself or my friend Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, or all my co-hosts on Friday Night Tights, were just guys in our rooms filled with way too many toys
and girls
expressing our opinions, going, we used to really love this stuff. We want to still love this stuff. And
by the way, just to point out this black cinema, bro, what were all the movies we watched? Friday, New Jack City, Don't Be a Menace, we were just talking about them, but yeah, there's a lot, and they act like they didn't exist. They do.
And all we were met with every time we legitimate criticisms, by the way, we might flare it with a little comedy or failed comedy.
No
in my
shit.
case, but it was honest. It was authentic. And that's the one thing Hollywood's having a hard time dealing with. The AAA gaming companies are having a hard time dealing with, and media overall is having a hard time dealing with, is authenticity. And that's what people are looking for in art.
They couldn't be fucking real if they wanted to. If they wanted to. The man is higher for is and phobes of this. Exactly, which is why what's his face had to pretend to have a noose around his neck by MAGA at 3 a.m.
Art in criticism and just basic opinion.
That.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I want to come back to the gaming foundations of this for a moment, but I want to kind of set up.
Kids.
See if you accept my premise that I said before you came in. And I'll say this as someone who wasn't coming at it from a critical standpoint. I was just a consumer or a customer, right?
Boom.
He edited it. That's awesome. At least in pop culture, like we were a little bit in a golden age, right? Especially in television.
Oh, the famous French actor, Jussie Smollett. Yes. I am familiar with him. Yes. Shout out. Isn't his like cousin the one who plays Black Canary in the now dead Warner Brothers DC animated universe?
Television. So in the 90s, I would say movies were the thing. And I don't know if we were in a golden age of movies or not, but it felt like I used to go to the movies all the time. Now I never go to the movies. But it transitioned to television, and it felt like we always had something good to watch there for about a 10, maybe even a 15-year period. Like from The Sopranos to The Wire to Breaking Bad to whatever, it was always something good going on. But the reason I want you to check that premise is that was also a world that predated sort of the fan-driven feedback on those things. Like it was before social media, mid 2000s, because, whatever, Twitter takes off in like 2009, 10, YouTube a little before that probably. Do you think I was deluded during that period that it was a golden age?
By the way, we were 100% in a golden age. And Bly, we'll get there. And it's funny as fuck. You can see how awkward it is. And I'll talk about it because I actually watch Gary game when he does. You want to talk about movies that came from 1994? Little Big League, Three Ninjas, Legends of the Fall, Major League, Blank Man, Stargate, In the Army Now, The Crow, True Lies, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Jungle Book, Maverick, like fucking Forrest Gump, Time Cop.
This is most of my top 100.
Bruh. We were in a golden age. Drop Zone, Disclosure, Ace Ventura, and The Mask.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
So
hey, Alec Baldwin's finger. Shout out The Getaway. Getaway with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger. Or Bassinger. I've heard it both ways. Bro, Bad Girls. Hey, remember how there were no women movies? Bad Girls. Get the fuck out of here and your revisionist history. Interview with the Vampire. Stop it. So yes, we were in fact in a fucking golden age. 1994, not a bad time if you wanted to go back in time.
Yeah.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's never
think
forget
about being
that we
like
were in
10
fact
years old
in a golden age. My brother in Odin, he couldn't find the fucking door for like an hour. It's in the very beginning when you're in the room with Yennefer. He couldn't find the key, and then he couldn't find the door. And then one stream, I watched him chase a goat for 2 hours. It's not hyperbole, but let's get back.
Was it truly a golden age?
Yeah, we'll get him somewhere.
And for some reason, even though they still had the journalist gatekeepers, they were making better content.
It was a golden age, and it was the end of the golden age. I mean, there's been forums going back 20 years, and that's where fandom had been relegated to. And fandom, particularly with fandom, not just, with
shout out to the forums,
general audience shows. That was very niche. That's kind of where it needed to stay. But yeah, we had a brilliant run of HBO shows, premium format shows, and that was supposed to be the future. That really was. And that ended 2015, 2016. Now we can all assume what happened that year when Hollywood went crazy, but that's where they really put their foot on the gas pedal on woke Hollywood, driving in the message. And that's where we started hearing like insert here theory, CRT or alphabet theory, as I call it. And that's that's really where it started getting pushed. I mean, it had its origins earlier, but no, we were just getting good normal shows because there was talented people creating them. And what Hollywood.
So this is when all of those, remember when all of those inclusion standards that we talk about all the time that got leaked by Amazon and Disney and 3 out of 5 from, you know,
I
need to
hadn't heard
be
about
from
that.
an underrepresented group. Right. And then we found out like all that shit that we were reading happened 4 years ago. So that's right around the time that Gary's talking about, the 2016, coincidentally.
Hollywood has done and what gaming has tried to do but can't, and definitely comics, nobody reads comics anymore, is they've pushed out all the talented people with diversity hires. And now we have a bunch of inexperienced, untalented people who are in Hollywood, you know, directors are cast now. They're not hired, they're cast. And shows are produced, they're not created anymore. And that's the problem. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, way too many producers, there's too many rules, there's there's a slavish adherence to it, and now it's a contractual adherence to the.
Well, and we heard it confirmed, the brothers that had their Batgirl movie canceled and they did a couple episodes of Miss Marvel and Drinker was talking to them. They were cast for their shit. Obviously, Nia DaCosta was cast for the Marvels, and we saw how that worked out. I hate to tell you, but Charlene O'Bachanoy, well, she's probably fucking cast because she's an activist, because she likes to make men uncomfortable, and because she can make a boss bitch. So that's why she was hired. Yeah, of course they're cast. Leslie Headland, well, I think she just knows where the bodies are buried. So she was cast in that regard. But yeah, they do cast them. They come in on set and they find out that most of the action scenes are already directed. They're really just there to tell them to point a camera at 1 or 2 places and get the fuck out of here. And then everything is done in the edit room. Echo, you wanted to? Hey, did you hear about Echo? Hey, no one else did. It's par for the course. And then the other thing he said that he was right on, when much like every game studio has been corrupted by young people with the woke mind virus, guess what? So has every single studio. So even if right now they got the mandate, like, hey, none of this shit works, go back to the male gaze, go back to traditional GAZE male gaze, go back to traditional storytelling, heteronormative, nuclear family, shit like that. They couldn't because you have a bunch of people that don't know how to do that. All they know how to write is what they know, and what they know is the not so secret gay agenda and fluid gender this and that, because that's all they are. They have no life experience. They're not like the old school writers. All right.
A message that has absolutely destroyed art. You know, Jerry, we'll probably talk about that. Jerry Seinfeld broke that down perfectly.
Jeremy
recently.
Seinfeld.
Again, and this is not an old argument.
Yeah, let's talk about Jerry Seinfeld. So I'm always like, I asked you to check my premises. I always like to push back on myself. Like,
I love that he said it. This is the best shit I've ever heard someone say, because I try to do this too. Well, I do it for a different reason, but like anything that I am going to say, for the most part, like big thing on stream, in my head, I'm like, what's the first thing someone's going to say? Like, what hole is going to be poked in it? Try to see it from a couple different angles. But I love that he basically says that,
okay, if I hear something I really like and I tend to agree with, then I kind of almost want to play devil's advocate with myself. Okay, are you sure you got this right? So I hear Jerry Seinfeld say, you know, the problem with comedy is it's all run by a boardroom now, and the boardroom is run by a mentality, like you just said, not just a mentality, but like, we got to check the DEI boxes. We got to ensure that the comedy passes doesn't offend the wrong people test. And I hear all that, and I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely true. But then pushing back on myself, Gary, I say, well, what about South Park? What about Curb Your Enthusiasm? Not politically correct. And I think that Jerry did go on in that interview to say that Larry David was grandfathered in to that.
They sort of go on with this. I'm not sure I agree with this, but let's see if you think. I think for sure South Park has been grandfathered in, but let's see.
And so would South Park have been. But what about, and maybe the same could be said for Mostly Sunny in Philadelphia. It's been around long enough to have survived this shift in entertainment. But I know I saw Shane Gillis I think he's getting a new deal, right? A new show or something like that.
Because he went on Saturday Night Live. It's like the pseudo kissing of the ring, even though you could take it like they capitulated by having him on. That one goes both ways. So Shane going on Saturday Night Live was like, okay, now he's green lit again.
Sort of been embraced. And as entertainment fractures and you have different outlets, I just wonder if it's true. Maybe is Jerry just talking about like ABC, CBS, and NBC and networks? Or now that we have so many different outlets, are we actually still capable of getting that stuff just more in fractured places?
Yeah, it's being decentralized. What Gary
wants me to tell you, Nerd Wars, that you can also thank fucking Kurtzman Trek for that Paramount being destroyed.
Jerry says in he's had 2 articles come out, but what he says in one of them is, you know, stand-up comedy. Comedy's still alive. It's still thriving, but it's thriving in stand-up because you have no middleman. The audience is right there. And if you screw up, you know right away. And that's what more people, that's authenticity is the currency of the future. That's what more people are looking for. You've got a chat going right now that you're interacting with. That's what people are moving to. But comedy,
hey, look,
what Jeremy is, why do I keep saying Jeremy?
Got a chat.
Jeremy's going to laugh, my friend Jeremy. Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, so obviously shout out to Jeremy Griggs from Geeks and Gamers. I'm sure he did laugh at that repeatedly. They brought it up when they talked about it on Friday Night Tights. I get it. It happens. Also, he's taken a lot of drugs.
Said basically was it's dead in Hollywood. It's dead in Hollywood. If you go back and look at the rated R comedy, the last one, we just had Anyone But You, right? Really mid comedy. Made over $200 million. That was the first rated R comedy to make over $200 million since 2016. And by the way, that comedy was Bridget Jones' Baby to make you even more depressed. But like we don't get The Hangover anymore. We don't get Dodgeball.
I saw it.
Yeah. So I mean, we don't.
I saw real quick. I saw Anyone But You on an airplane, and I'm curious what it's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, I don't think he does. It's Gary saying he owns a comic shop is like the Al Bundy. He scored 4 touchdowns in one game. It will come out somehow, but I don't think it did come up in this one.
But I do think like for a lot of guys who you and I probably have some very similar views on a lot of things. Like Sydney Sweeney has been adopted, and she definitely has her assets. But Sydney Sweeney has been adopted.
I like this dude.
It is this like anti-woke thing. And then there was that producer who's like, I don't get the Sydney Sweeney thing. She's not a good actress and all that. I mean, Anything But You is not going to be Sydney Sweeney's nomination into, no, I'm actually really good. Check this movie out.
No, she has become a huge star off of a massive flop, Madam Web, and her attitude after it, which
handling failure, like Dakota Johnson, shout out. She also handled it very well. That's how you do it.
Was really good. And she's really hot. And yes, I can think of a couple of reasons why Anyone But You did well. But other than that, it was a complete fantasy.
A pair of reasons.
It's all centered around a lesbian destination wedding. So the fact that they stayed together that long.
Yeah.
But it was also a man and a woman that look good. They're easy on the eyes, and it's like just a traditional romantic comp. Remember? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, and that's why people flock to it. Just for once, it wasn't this perfect little 50% orchestrated version of reality that they want.
Was the joke of the film. But yeah, I think it's great that I've been putting her on my thumbnails. What the hell? It works. No shame to my game, but I think
and that's the thing, Anon. No shame to his game. He does not give a fuck that he's surrounded in his nerve cave. I mean, you know what? That's all right. That's just nerd cred right there. That's what it is.
I think it's just people want, we need to stop hot phobia.
Bye, movie reviewer. See you tomorrow.
Stop hot phobia. We've had this, especially in video games. They're trying to make everybody ugly. It's like
hey. How are they dead forever, Sir Garb? That's what we're talking about. Is that movie made a bunch of money? Anyone But You. It's a romantic comedy. They're bringing it back. What's the one that I might actually watch it just because she's hot? She's Catwoman, and she was in Princess. What can't I think of her? She's where she's older, like a MILF.
Yeah.
See, good old people now. We can't remember names.
Yeah.
Damn chat, help, chat, help. Batwoman and then Princess Diaries.
Back hot women. It's a good thing. Makes people happy.
Men and women. Yeah. Come on, chat. They're 10 seconds behind.
Like we don't have the internet.
I'm not going to look it up.
To your point, I mean, that's why I watched, and that's why I stuck around for 2 hours. It's a lot of Sydney Sweeney, and you know, it keeps your attention. So yeah. So back to Jerry Seinfeld, though. You think are we seeing a market correction though? So you say stand up is a way for the talented person to reach directly to the audience.
I'm kind of retarded
through a boardroom, right?
You guys both.
Do you think those other examples that I gave are all just grandfathered into what happened? Always Sunny, Curb Your Enthusiasm, South Park. They're just grandfathered in. Will we ever see another one now that we have so many options in terms of distribution? There's more boardrooms, but.
By the way, I'm all for older actresses coming back to do graphic sex scenes in movies. I think we should bring that back. Remember when Halle Berry, I almost said it. Halle Berry had like basically porn with Billy Bob Thornton in that movie Monster.
Oh my God, yeah.
Monsters Ball. Yeah, do more of that. Kate Winslet, she's already done that a couple times. I'll take more. But yeah, all the famous, time to start coming back, and we'll pay them to do that.
With more boardrooms, you presumably have more opportunity for better boardrooms, right? So will we see more of those types of shows?
No, but agree, yeah.
I don't think so. I think Jerry even talks about this in a later in the interview, that he says Curb was grandfathered in, and absolutely South Park was grandfathered in. Always Sunny, brilliant show, grandfathered in.
She did show tits, but it wasn't a graphic sex scene.
Multiple seasons. I think Always Sunny's going to be up to 18 at some point. South Park is at 26. And if you go back and look, what dominated streaming last year? Shows that were over a decade old. Suits like ruled the summer, and also on that list, there's a top 10 list with like one new show, and you see older comedies, including Seinfeld. So there's still an audience for it. To answer for it,
I watch it every day,
every single day.
Yeah,
still an audience for superhero movies. There's still an audience for movies. There's still an audience for comedy, and they're just finding other places for it. Like you said, it's fracturing, and that's good. We need entertainment completely decentralized. I'm all for it. That's why, again, like some of the most interesting things happening right now are in stand-up comedy, and most people aren't seeing it because you'll have to go. I was privileged enough to pay a lot of money, overpay for a ticket to go see the opening of the Mothership, Joe Rogan's The Mothership in Austin, and I got to see Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, and it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. So I think comedy is it's a
yeah, that's sort of what this is right here. That's why when Alec Baldwin's finger drops 20 memberships and says he wants to watch this whole thing, well, guess what? Parallel Market says that's what we're watching.
Find that Hollywood is dying because they have completely abandoned.
Shout out Tim.
The one thing that they were built on. Their first movie star was Chaplin, technically. And comedy's the one thing that pushes the boundaries.
Oh, and I just want to say this. Yeah. So people want to talk shit about people that watch Rogan or listen to Rogan. I listen to him all the time. And today on Nerd War, someone brought up something about William Randolph Hearst. And I went into a whole long spiel about who he is and the history of outlawing weed and the decorticator and hemp and blah, blah, blah. And everyone, wow, Badger's really smart. He knows history. I was like, no, motherfucker, I just listened to Rogan. He went into the whole thing and I remembered it. So you actually can learn shit if you...
Weaponized autism.
Yes, I was horrible at book learning, but boy, can I remember some shit that I hear. And so, yeah, shout out to Rogan. Yep.
Puts,
you know what it is.
A mirror to society and to Hollywood. And, unfortunately, all Hollywood wants to do it, like I'm fine with them putting a mirror to society, but right now they're putting like a lens to society. And they always bring up that term lens. And it's a
magnifying glass under the sun at this point.
It really comes from one source, and it's getting tiresome. And there's this huge divide between the audience and corporate Hollywood, corporate gaming, corporate comics, corporate news, everything right now. And they're going to have a hard time dealing with it as we can talk to each other more.
Oh, it's done, by the way. That's it. I don't think the legacy... Oh, shit, that's a question for chat, and I'll ask you. Do you think that the legacy media... the regular news, the New York Times, or any gaming, the Kotakus of the world, or anything, do you think they'll ever, any sort of like movie reviewers other than us, will get any sort of legitimacy in anyone's eyes? Will you ever trust them again or go to them instead of just like,
Well, I mean, in that case, I guess it's sort of like proof is in the pudding, right? Like if they do turn around and start doing shit on a level basis, maybe, everyone deserves another shot, I guess. But
I don't. Well, first of all, I don't think they think they are. So,
well,
right?
once
Like, how can you
everyone,
fix a
yeah,
problem?
but once everyone does see the problem, again, you see all the normies, if you want to call them, coming out and seeing the problem. Eventually, everyone will.
Yeah, and then I think they'll abandon the legacy stuff, and they'll just start watching, like, my fucking father's over here watching Hypnotic and WDW Pro, and like he went from not giving a shit to like giving a shit. And that's the thing. Once you get caught up on things, you start giving a shit. But yeah, I don't think they're ever coming back. But let's see what they say.
Well, look, I take a huge amount of inspiration. So the person that jokes that Gary's going mainstream. Yeah, I mean, I work for Fox, but I take a huge amount of inspiration from you. And even though I totally disagree with him on something like a streamer like Destiny, because and I can't speak to every opinion, and I can't speak.
Oh, he did. I was like, well, he must have fought not to talk shit. But did you see the face he made when he's mentioned Destiny?
Because, and I can't speak to every.
That's
a good one.
Get fucked, Destiny.
Opinion, and I can't speak to every show and everyone, but there is a sense of authenticity, a lack of polish. The comments are coming in right now, and I want to interact with them, and that's my goal for this show. It was when I had that radio show on ESPN. It's just like I want to be. Yeah, I don't want to speak down and at people. I want to speak with people, right?
Bro, let me stop making me respect you. That's what's up. I don't want to speak down to anyone. I want to speak with them. I hate that's what makes them so fucking
I wish
annoying.
I recorded our phone calls.
Smug content. You shut your dirty mouth. You're a rat. You're a lesser creature. No. I'm higher on the food chain. I'll eat ya. Get in my belly. No, but I love that, dude. He just wants to talk with people. He doesn't want to talk down to anyone.
And but I need you to do something for me. So, like, I'm not a gamer. I'm like every kid. I played
this. Look at Gary. You could see the thought. Shit, I'm not a gamer either.
You
can literally see him thinking. That's fucking awesome. So this proceeds to be the most awkward moment ever, where this dude starts saying, like, I'm not a gamer, but I played this, this, and this. And I swear to God, I might even voice Gary's thoughts while we're doing it. But like, he's like, I haven't played that game. I
believe you did it during the watch.
Let's see.
Mobile. I played Madden. I played everything, NHL hockey through the 90s.
He's smiling.
But I never was into fantasy games. I think I played James Bond for some first-person shooter back in the day a little bit. But you know what I liked about that game, Gary, is I liked that my buddies and I could all get in a room together and then trash talk each other and do that and compete against each other. So we never moved to sort of the online. Oh, I did Call of Duty for a little bit.
Yeah, Gary didn't.
But we talked about this shift from the golden age to where we got, and you pinpointed like 14, 15. And that is like the rough timeline of Gamergate. So what I'm getting at with my lack of knowledge when it comes to gaming is I'm not all the way plugged in on Gamergate, but it does seem to have been the canary in the coal mine of everything that then unfolded after that. Can you just can you just give me the cliff notes on it? I know you could do not just a show, but you could do, and you have done, episodic seasons on Gamergate, but can you give me the cliff notes of what went down?
Well, I'm not a massive gamer either, but I am a massive nerd, and most of my friends are. So Gamergate starts with because
I was ignoring the chat. I can't not smile. Like, it hurts me from smiling. It's so awkward. Yeah, I'm glad everyone realizes how fun that was. Come on, Fink loves you. He just wants to help his friend Klaus with his plan to make us all have nothing and be happy. You help your friends. Yeah, you got to make your friends happy. Gary, this is like a pro fucking move. I would have said something. I would have just made a joke on myself and be like, well, I haven't played any of those. He just, I love it. He stayed on point. Drinker is way more of a gamer. His body language was peak. I'm glad you're still here watching this. Yeah, right. He was gonna go up and grab a sword and start swinging it around and shit.
Woman who slept with a few journalists to get some positive reviews. That's pretty much it. But it turns into there is a lot of intersectionality invading games.
So it was, you could thank Nerd Wars for schooling me on this in his fucking 7-part autism series. The original Gamergate, Zoe Quinn and her sexifying with multiple men that led to several of them unaliving themselves. It really just exposed the corrupted connection between games journalists at the time and how much influence they really did have on the narrative. Again, what do they accuse? Accuse your enemy of everything you're guilty of. All the gatekeeping and manipulation they accused us of, they were in fact guilty. And you're going to find out in Gamergate 2 that a lot of those people were still around, including one of them who maybe used the money she got of the insurance of her dead brother who unalived himself because of Zoe Quinn accusations, and then created a narrative consultancy lending firm called Weird Ghosts. Huh, crazy, isn't it?
And it really sparked a whole cottage industry on YouTube, and it really sparked this criticism.
I just want to point this out. I don't think Gary would take offense, because even he knows that he knows enough to give you a broad spectrum, but really it was like Az and other people that were covering it a lot more fully. Gary, he makes no bones. That's why his body language is so funny. That like, but shout out that he did get it, because he is there to speak for like from our corner, more or less.
Of calling out woke culture. Wasn't really even called that back then. Maybe it was. This is before my time on YouTube. Then it kind of dies out because a lot of the voices in there either fade away or they turned it out to be a bunch of frauds. There's still a lot that are still around. There's Razorfist, there's Sargon, there's a lot of guys who are still around right now. The people spearheading it now, I would say my friend Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Cabrutus, Grummz out there on Twitter,
and Hypnotic and Nerd Wars. And I mean that not because they're my fucking friends, but in all actual fact, Nerd Wars has done. Oh shit, don't tell him about this. I'm going to be a little homo. He has done actual gaming, real gaming journalism. Hypnotic has been spreading the word. And then obviously Cabrutus Rambo goes without saying. He is the king of all of it. DEI detected, the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected link, like that. That is all that. And then Grummz. I'm doing my part.
I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to be that.
No. I'm doing my part, but it is the main or Cabrutus and Grummz and Nerd. Yeah, so let's shout out to them. But anyway, we'll let them.
So
continue.
It bled into comic books, and then
don't tell him. I don't want to talk shit on Leon.
This is the one that's lesser known. It was called the Sad Puppies Incident, and it was basically a bunch of cultural Marxists invading sci-fi and fantasy and taking over.
And that's, by the way, what this all boils down to across the board. If you really want to, it's all just neo-Marxism and some weird neo-feudalist society with like caste system, with like the rich globalists at the top that own all the fucking shit, and then us at the bottom in our 15-minute cities. And like it really is the base, the scaffolding of every single thing. And it sounded batshit crazy, and they kept saying it. And the more you looked at it, it's like, nope, that's what it is.
Over the awards and not awarding anybody who doesn't have the politics, and it's way deeper than that. Again, in comic books, it turned into half the industry needed to employ women because of a 2014 Facebook poll that said that, hey, women are interested in comics too. Half the population is a potential customer. Wow, great science right there. So they decided to get rid of all the old guys, bring in a bunch of girls who didn't know anything about comics, and dudes too, and completely destroyed mainstream comics.
Gay, wafy dudes that also didn't read comics, but got a little taste, and were told that they can write whatever horrible shit that they wanted.
To the point where manga is absolutely dominating them. And then, it started creeping in the movies as well. And I think the two best examples are Disney Star Wars, which I would argue has never been good, and Disney Marvel, which was great.
And let's give a shout out to Chris Gore. I hope he is recovering. I mean, Gary said some slanderous things, but I think that was just Gary really loves Chris, and that probably fucked with him that he had that incident in Vegas. But shout out to him for that original post that the most costliest mistake in the history of anything will be Disney turning Star Wars and Marvel into girl brands. Brands that multiple times was said that they bought specifically because it would bring in men, that Disney was a girl brand and that Marvel and Star Wars was their way to get men in. And then Chris, of course, makes the excellent connection that because they only know how to market and make things for women, that is inevitably what it took in. And then you put in, because again, you don't need a conspiracy where there's a common interest to lie. Then you get a feminist like Kevin Feige who wants to make everyone. I know he didn't do that for ESG money. That's just Kevin. It's the same thing with the Dave Filoni. That's just their feminist men, which means, well, you know what that means. So the point is like, yeah, it's just on every level. It's been ruined.
Which was the greatest franchise of all time, did something that will never be done again. Had 20 plus movies that were varying degrees of mid to really good. A couple stinkers, but like I would watch the stinkers over anything we've got post Endgame. And over the last 5 years,
any day,
especially with Star Wars, anything associated with Disney, we've seen this steep decline because it's turned into product, and the fans were calling it out.
Oh, okay. Well, just if you don't know, while they were at that Las Vegas meet, and they've talked about this, the Chris Gore had a stroke. Like, I won't even be a slight or a minute. He had a stroke, I guess, during the day while they were he was with Gary and Drinker, and he was starting to slur his words, and he felt like shit. And like, as someone who used to drink all the time, you get quite used to feeling like shit and maybe slurring your words a little bit. And everyone just dismissed it. And then eventually they were like, oh, this isn't a hangover. You should go to a hospital. And yeah, stroke, mild stroke, either way, he's been going to movies now. He hasn't been streaming. He's taking it easy, but like, shout out. It always happens to the best of us. And also, don't want to preach to anyone, but like Chris, especially, maybe a sign to slow down a little bit and maybe not get blasted every night. Like just a little bit, just listen to the universe when it tells you things. Obviously,
so you can tell when you're dying.
Yeah. Chris is someone we need to not die right now. I know there's a lot of humans I'm all right with pouncing out. Chris ain't one of them. So I hope he's around for a good long time.
The fans were calling it out with comics. The fans were calling it out with gaming. The fans were calling out in sci-fi, and they were all being met with the same responses. You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a white supremacist. You're a misogynist, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then about 5 years later, after Endgame ends, it turns out, wow, gaming did go woke. Comics did go woke. And guess what? It all turned to crap.
When you look back at it, and then put it back to back with everything one after the other of everything we said, please don't do that. No, fuck you, bigot. You just are mad that Rey got the Millennium Falcon. And you go, please don't do that. Nah, fuck you. What you want to see? Luke Skywalker at the height of his power? You just want to see lightsaber fights? Every single thing gaslit. And now you look back at the results.
Yeah.
You look back at the results. And I've said it a billion times. What did it get him? Alec, your PFP makes me smile. I think shout out to Mo Zamboni, I believe, was the one that did that picture. But yeah, what did every franchise, Disney still hasn't paid. Thank you, Forbes. It showed us they still haven't paid off. There's like 2.8 billion away from paying off what they paid for Star Wars originally. They never actually made a profit. And where's the massive amount of underrepresented people? And where's all the magical numbers of Black and queer and all these groups now that were being kept out by the mythical patriarchy, the white? Where are they? Where are they now that it's out? It's open. It's inclusive, and that we have no power. Where? Oh, it's almost like the people that were there and liked it the way it was, and that you alienated them all, and so all you have left are the dregs, and it ain't very much.
Look at the steep decline. We even right after Spider-Man No Way Home, we had Doctor Strange Mom made almost $1 billion. The last movie they just released, The Marvels, just made 206 million worldwide. That's a pretty quick decline. And it's not the fans' fault, it's the quality. So it's going on, it's getting old. It's going on for over a decade. And as far as Hollywood is concerned, we're in post-apocalyptic woke Hollywood. As far as gaming, it's ramped up there because
stay alive till 2025. That's what they say. Aside from when they say male and pale is stale, they say stay alive until 2025 because they ain't got shit. You could thank Gary's talked about it, so you could thank their strikes for that they shouldn't have done, which at the worst possible time, let them kick in force majeure and fire and cancel a bunch of these projects, which is why we went from 600 projects last year to 300 projects this year. And now everyone is clamoring for whatever little writing job there is. Yeah, congratulations. I hope you eat each other.
Because they've already destroyed Hollywood comics and everything else. They have nowhere else to go. Just to wrap this up, sorry, I went a little long, but
we do that sometimes.
Gamergate 2.0,
No, it's cool. Yeah,
which started last year, arguably, my friend Az from Heel versus Babyface had a Starfield rant about pronouns that went mega viral, and that really kind of ramped things up, and people started looking into things. Cabrutus on Steam created this aggregate, which is the Sweet Baby Ink detector. Sweet Baby Ink is a third-party company that basically goes over your story and makes it woke. You know, they
really,
it's a giant grift. Yes. So I mean, that's putting it in very simplest terms, but they help write your stories.
I said they double down, so they keep splitting and then they double down again. I think that's how they do it.
So you can put in underrepresented, marginalized groups. It basically makes women fat, ugly lesbians in most of the games. We just assume they're lesbians. We don't know all the time. They're the ones who always.
Yeah, how dare you assume their sexuality, Gary?
You know, put compelled pronouns, or even the fact that there's pronouns there when you're playing a video game. And
Charlie, you're not alone, bro. It all lives rent fucking free in my head. Rent free in my head. If someone says weird, I hear
Weird.
If someone says retarded, I hear
I'm kind of retarded.
I just can't help it. It's just what happens.
Yeah, gamers are sick of it, but they're failing. And there's a lot more companies and there's a lot more to it, but they're failing because gaming is decentralized. So they can go and do it on the AAA games all they want. So this is where gamers are completely winning. So now it's ramped up crazy. It is gamer.
Oh yeah, we are super winning. The petition, like I said, it hit 75,000. They're fucking panicking. The people are canceling their PlayStation Plus, which is really pissing them off. We are actually winning on a couple of different fronts. Lizard of Linux Lane, would you oppose someone using clips from the live stream in a video of this one? My brother, you go ahead and use whatever clips you want. You react to whatever you want. Please, I'm the last one to have a problem with someone using my clips. Let me pop off of Gary's coattails. Jesus. Yeah, no, you go ahead and clip up. That would be an honor.
If I'm not mistaken, I do believe we didn't touch on the Helldivers issue tonight.
No, we haven't gotten there yet, but we will. We will.
Yeah,
it's all connected.
I was just thinking about it.
And if someone brought it up, we would. But we're almost done with this. And I mean, trust me, when Alec Baldwin's finger is here and telling you to watch it,
hey,
watch it.
28 people hanging out watching,
bro, because that's what the hangout is.
And just because it hasn't been mentioned and this isn't a jab, if you're enjoying this content, please like and share. But please go like and share Nerdrotic. Go do your subbing there as well. Yeah.
You always need to. Yeah, instead of the Angry Badger. Let me see. Full MCU. I don't want to see even one positive milk. Yeah, no. I want all the men to be weak beta males. Just double down on that. 100% female representation, but only trans women. Right. We need women 2.0. I agree.
Gamergate 2 is getting as crazy, if not crazier, than Gamergate 1, because for one, the gamers are winning, and the gaming journalism is just so bad right now that they're desperate for attention, and it's almost like their old trick of stirring things up and gaslighting isn't even working anymore, you know. And when we have
no
editors from Kotaku, who have OnlyFans,
it's also a lot like they call this racist and sexist and bigoted. For fuck's sake, Hypnotic literally named himself the king of the bigot army. Like, that is the definition of that's our word now. We completely switched it on him. You literally forged us into iron with your vitriol. Like, it doesn't matter anything now. Doesn't matter anything. And yeah, look at us. We're the media now. Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, Hypnotic, Side Scrolls. I would go to them. I would go to movie reviewer Irwin or Critical Drinker anytime before I would go to any sort of modern day movie review. Same thing when something happens and I go, boy, I can't wait to see what Gary or Drinker or Az or, Jeremy thinks about that.
Trying to, call people up. Stellar Blade's the latest one, which is nuts. It's got just this really voluptuous hot woman, and it's a good game. So you have a female lead and a good game, and now the journalists are complaining about it when they were calling us the misogynists.
Shout out, Phantom. Thank you.
Just because we enjoy the female form, as it should be.
The parallels.
Yeah, and as a reminder, calling us misogynists while also thirsting over their own woke, like Hades 2 and other characters, completely fine with bear fucking in hey, bear fucker. Completely fine with that in Baldur's Gate. But no. A woman that's actually based on a real Asian woman? Nope, not allowed. We're gonna have to clean that up.
The parallels to sports they're really, really interesting. So I think you brought up cultural Marxism, and that's a thing, and we've talked about it a lot right here. It's an ideologically driven thing that has populated corporations.
It is the thing. It is the thing. Everything is about oppressor versus oppressed. Everything is about systematic oppression and the critical race, this and that. All it is. I think James Lindsay said it's calling everything racist and sexist until you control it.
There's also something more shallow at play, because I don't think every single person participating in this understands. They may be inadvertently participating in cultural Marxism, but they're certainly not going home saying, what we need to do tomorrow. There's also this mentality of we've got to be everything to everybody. So what happened in sports is real similar to what you said. Hey, we've got a lot of women fans that like football, and we should grow it. We should grow that. So we start leaning into different things in sports to attract women to sports. Okay, on the surface, that's fine. And at the risk of making them all mad, this was kind of my thing with Taylor Swift. Like Taylor Swift being forced into the NFL entertainment ecosystem. The problem isn't really Taylor Swift. It's that you're just trying to be everything to everybody. And when you try to be everything to everybody, you alienate the...
I wish he had said it, but he didn't. When you try to be everything to everybody, you end up being nothing to anyone. Like, it's you can't. That was the joke of the Pander Stone. Pick a fucking side. Pick a side, pick a direction, and go. You can't 360 it and just try to appeal to everyone, especially in these days. It's not 2010s. I think most understand Marx. You would be surprised. You would fucking be surprised at some of the people that when you say that, they really don't understand the application in modern times, which is why we try to explain it. But it's hard, especially since it's a lot of it is what he's saying, that a lot of people are just, it's weaponized compassion. They're just not trying. They're trying to not be on the fucking mythical wrong side of history. And yeah, it's complicated.
The core
but it's
audience
all bad.
That was there in the first place. You lose who you are. So to be real, your average hardcore NFL fan doesn't need 10 shots of Taylor Swift during a game. We don't need that storyline. We don't need all of that. And if you make us think that that's the most important thing happening around the game, then you alienate us while you attempt to attract everybody into the tent.
I really did actually say this the other day. He needs to pick a fucking side of the fence before he ends up skewering on it. But I forgot what it was in regards to. But it is, I think, about modern times. It was like there is a side. That's the point. It is a side.
And you could see the same thing on the homepage of ESPN.com. It's like, oh, you like NBA? Here's some WNBA shoved right at your throat. You like the NCAA tournament? I've got 10 headlines for you on the women's tournament. And it's just like, you're just shoving things at me that don't reflect the reason I'm here in the first place, my fandom. And forget about reflect. You've minimized the reason I'm here. Or in worst cases, you've patronized or villainized the reason I'm here, to your point earlier of I'm a villain, or I'm bigoted, or I'm small-minded. Maybe so, but I did want to watch some dudes. I did want to have a beer and watch some dudes compete to win a game. That was why I came.
Hop on in. The water's fine. All are welcome. I really hope he was doing that.
Yeah, and have fun. What's the common denominator here, by the way? Marvel, Disney, ESPN. Oh, it's Disney. But it's happened everywhere. I mean, it's when beer goes woke, like it's getting a little out of control, don't you think?
Yeah.
They've gone through, this is the point, like they've gone through every movie franchise. They've gone through every comic franchise. They're going through most of the video games. Wait till then it's retroactive when they adapt them live action and then make them a little bit of The Last of Us. We'll see. Halos, right? Thankfully, Fallout maybe is the rare one. But then they've made it to tabletop gaming. We're at fucking tabletop gaming. Everywhere. And then they've got those, hold on to your butts, maybe we'll get Hayden in here. They've got those bridge programs, which are then trying to move all of this that's been in the corporate world and the Hollywood and comics and games into our own personal lives. Oh, that would be fun.
But yeah, I used to be a massive football fan. I used to watch ESPN all the time. Now it wasn't going well because I'm a Charger fan. I'm a San Diego Charger fan, and I hate Dean Spanos because he ripped my team out of my city. But no, I can't. I don't watch a single second of.
Unlike Gary, I won't sit here with awkward body language and a fuck look on my face. I know fuck all about cars and or sports beyond like MMA. That is all Rat's domain.
Football now. I don't miss it at all. I like having my Sundays free. But that's what this takeover does. It makes you hate what you loved. These things I loved. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek. I love Doctor Who. I love Marvel Comics.
And I don't hate any of those because I have disassociated fully. Disney Star Wars is Disney Star Wars. I love Star Wars. It's the expanded universe. It's everything before Disney took over. All they are is legal fanfic. I love Star Trek. It's basically everything up until Enterprise. And then fuck off. I love all of those things up to a certain point, and then I just doesn't count. Doesn't count.
I like all the old stuff. I don't want anything to do with the new stuff anymore. And to make a comic collector of over 40 years quit collecting comics, new comics, that is a testament to your commitment to failure.
As stop by. I don't think. I mean, obviously they buy like older already purchased, but from actual them, they haven't bought comics in I'm gonna say at least 4 years.
Thankfully, the only reason it won't work in gaming again is because it's such a massive industry. It's spread around the world, and that's what needs to happen. If any of this is going to survive, if
Black
any
Aragorn
movies or TV films, and they will, by the way, it's going to have to be decentralized, and Americans will probably have to change their tastes and start watching more Eastern entertainment and stuff. And some of it's pretty damn good, So it'll always be there. I don't know if Hollywood will be.
I have heard the new Ultimate Spider-Man is good. Yeah, let's say because Irwin has bought that, and then Transformers. Rat, you might be interested in that.
I want to get
Transformers
back into
comics that are good.
I want to come back to that so we can end on a positive note. But one more thing on this, again, because my prism of
with this,
gaming,
we're not done with
we're
the
not
stream.
exclusively focused on gaming. It's more about as an illustration.
Yeah.
My sons play. They're big into soccer and they play FIFA mostly. And I know you see what FIFA has done. So they have player ratings, right? And so Messi is a high, he's in the 90s. And, if you but if you play with a team in the MLS, your ratings are like in the 60s. It's just not as good. So they're balancing skill, and it's complicated, like in a good way. Like this guy has speed, this guy has touch, right? And so a lot goes into, and the players care about their ratings just like they do in Madden or NBA 2K. Well, no one would pick the women's teams, right? Because the ratings are like in the 50s. So you never want to play with the women's team, maybe at best 50s. So they normalize the ratings. So now like the best women's teams have ratings in the 80s and 90s. And now I've said, I've seen my son go, should we play with the U.S. women's national team against, Manchester City? I'm like, why would we do that? And he's like, well, look at the ratings. And so it's like forcing me in a really fake way to choose to play with women.
This is showing you the like weird ass alternate reality they want to exist.
When it's not reflective at all. Sports is not fantasy. I mean, it is to some degree, but the reason I choose one team versus another, because the skill set over here is better than the skill set over there. And it's what I actually see take place on TV. It's not so I can make the U.S. Or make, I don't even know the names of the women's soccer teams in the U.S. So I can make them, win the Champions League. I think this is what's happening, what you've described here. I think it's what's happening with FIFA.
Women can't describe any soccer team they don't know any names of any women's soccer teams in the U.S. Did you see that MLB trailer where they have women playing baseball? We reacted to that.
Yeah, they actually played this on a Geeks and Gamers in the morning. It was painful. A bunch of dykey women playing it with men. It's like, okay, is this what you want? It's okay. It's like make believe. It's so fun.
It was
I heard about
funny.
it. Yeah.
That was funny. God. Yes, they're forcing it, and it is becoming fantasy, which just, as you said, just completely destroys the entire concept of sports. The authenticity, the reality of it, not knowing what's going to happen, and gaming is what they're hyper focused on, and it's going to be in the conversation for
it makes
easily
money
another year, because as more gamers, do not mess with gamers. They have a lot of time on their hands. They'll weaponize their autism.
Isn't gaming?
They will find stuff, and they have, and
I love it that he said that. He did the weaponized autism line. Yeah, thankfully we still have the past, and it looks like much like a nuclear scenario here. Well, at least we've got the stockpile of old vids. And yeah, this was interesting when he talked about that, the stats, the change and all that. Let's see. Currently in games, there's a no-win scenario for being anti what Grummz is a partner. Yeah, well, we're gonna show him. All right, let's see. Let's finish this out.
Great. It's been absolutely great. Do not mess with that. It's we saw the fandom starting to fight back early on with like Rings of Power when that terrible show came out.
First of us to ratio
said no way, we're not putting up with this, and that was great to see. And now we're seeing, there's so much clapback. The Mufasa trailer just got ratioed on,
which we talked about,
and which was hilarious. But like,
I saw you posting that.
Gamers are
Lottie. He doesn't seem like King of the Nerds. He's fucking the king. He's our Gandalf. He's head poobah. I don't know. He is. It's all right. Someone's got to have the role. He's like our Mandalore, our current Mandalore. The leader constantly changes, but right now he is the current King of the Nerds, and I'm all right with that.
A different beast that are not to be messed with, and it's going to be great. I'm actually. It's been a lot of fun to watch. It's been a lot of fun to watch them fight back and save their hobby and find other. For one, they don't need AAA.
Nerd Dolph.
Not at all. There'll be enough independent games to where
Gary the Gray.
I don't know. Corporations just don't change on a dime. So you're seeing a lot of games bury.
Corporations don't change on the dime. If you believe Larry Fink, you have to echo the change you want everywhere. And there's no reason or sign that they would be changing back. It's just not going to happen.
Smaller companies, and maybe that finally buries a corporation, or it makes its conglomerate give up on it. I don't know, but I think the fans are going to win this one ultimately.
Well, to your point of gaming, I believe I have the stats right. It's bigger than.
Yeah, I would consider it. In fact, hold on, not consider it. I would, in the fucking heartbeat, interview Henry. Yes.
And the movie, music, and something else. It could be sports. I don't know. Not sports, I don't think. Industries combined. Like, it's huge. People our age, Gary, who aren't into gaming, don't appreciate how huge that
let me
market
give him a
is.
call.
So here's the positive note I want to end on with you really quickly. I said this on my show last week. Like, I feel like I've watched everything. I haven't, but I don't have anything anymore that I want to watch. So I'm going to lean on you to tell me what I'm missing out there that I need to put on my list to watch. Just give me 2 or 3 like things. I saw you tweeting about Rebel Moon. I think it was negative.
Watch Rebel Moon,
which I didn't
it's
watch.
Horrible.
I watched Dune 1. I didn't watch Dune 2.
Go mow your lawn or something. Get an early, start your taxes early. No. Okay. What is good that I have seen right now?
Shout out to Gooch for making me watch Rebel Moon, and then at least we got fun making fun of it. The first thing I thought in my head is The Gentleman. It's a 10 out of 10, and that's what Gary said. So I was like, thank God, verifying that it wasn't a horrible take.
Gentleman is the best show I've seen in a long time. That is on Netflix. It's from Guy Ritchie, and it's better than any of the movies he's put out the last couple of years. It feels very Guy Ritchie. It is great. Shogun, very good.
Yep.
Very good. I won't say great. I'll say very good. And House of the Dragon season 2 is just around the corner. I loved House of the Dragon season 1, and I hated the end of Game of Thrones. I thought season 8 was some of the worst television, the worst dive of a television show of all time, and I think it's a miracle that they came back and did something that could end up arguably being better.
Yeah, shout out Snyder said, just know that a vote against me is a vote for a focus group. So then I guess I like focus groups.
So there's War of the Warhammer.
Oh, sorry. This is done in like 2 minutes if I stop fucking pausing it, and then we're actually going to talk about Helldivers because we got a few more topics. We could talk about that and Alyssa Mercanti hijacking the CEO for Farm Folk and twisting his words, calling us all incels, even though apparently that's not what he meant.
An anime Lord of the Rings film is coming out at the end of the year, and of course there's Deadpool and Wolverine. That'll probably be pretty good. So there's some good stuff.
All right, so I saw House of Dragon 1, loved it. So I'll be in on House of Dragon 2. I watched The Gentleman. Yeah, really fun. I like Guy Ritchie stuff. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Haven't seen Shogun. So the new one there for me is Shogun to check out. And I'll be checking out your reviews, man. Nerdrotic on YouTube. Huge. Yeah, huge audience. Over 1 million. Man, I really appreciate you giving me so much time today. It's been fun to get to know you and have this conversation. Thank you.
It was great to talk to you. Take care.
Right, there he goes.
All right. Shout out. Make sure. Hey, I guess give a like and a sub to Will Kane or whatever. Either way, there was Gary. Shout out Alec Baldwin's finger. I hope you enjoyed that. You don't miss. We don't miss either. So that was that. Let's get right into it. We're almost done. That was really good. Why? What's the next 10 seconds? Is it really? Because then I got to hold on. All right, I will. Oh, just for you, I will go back. 10 seconds.
Okay. Gary Beekler, also known as Nerdrotic. This is from Lod 689. Will Kane does a great job. This should be good. That conversation, going into that conversation. Das Hippo. I always got to be a little kid.
All right, it was Lod. All right, shout out Lod. You got it. Man, he read your super chat. Congratulations. I'm surprised they actually paid attention to the chat at all during that, dude. Shout out Lod. That's awesome. Bro, don't you ever apologize to me again. Fucking you brag your ass off. That's what we do around here. Mutual jerking off. Don't be stingy.
Whoa.
Don't be stingy. Shout out. All right. Let's
Don't
do
be
this.
stingy, Mark.
Don't be stingy, Mark. It's what I was thinking too. Sorry.
Oh, that's a throwback.
That's a fucking throwback to when Tom Segura wasn't a fucking complete douchebag.
Spits.
So let's talk about this real quick. So basically the Farm Folks CEO, they got in a whole thing about where they asked, it sounded really fun and good originally, where they went to the players and asked them, hey, what level of tit physics basically do you think is enough? 50%, 90%, or 30% of like boob physics.
My tits
jumblies.
jiggle, so
Your
I want to
mumbly
see it
jumblies.
wiggle.
Yeah, right. And then he made a joke about, does anyone want to see what 150% looks like? Well, they freaked out. They being black girl gamers, not actual people that probably really liked it. And that led to an apology tour, which led to him talking to Alyssa Mercanti. And he said some things, which was, we don't want like the wrong people. But it sounded like I think he's Russian, because I was doing a bad Russian accent during it. But so I think some of it might have gotten changed in how he said it. Either way, here, let's see. He says, in an interview with Kotaku and Alyssa Mercanti, she reported that Kashlekov informed her, you have to be a very poor person to kind of sexualize these. Like the internet is full of sex right now.
I want my bird.
I want my bird. He goes, there's some crazy things that you can find if you're having problems with our characters, like look for help. Maybe go and date a woman or something like that, because this is not our this is one of those things, like I'd love to see how he thinks this was misphrased, but he says maybe go and date a woman or something like that, because this is not our goal. We don't want to attract people that are attracted to only these body parts, even though this bitch is only attracted to those body parts, at least in Hades 2.
What the hell is even Farm Folks?
So it's supposed to be like an MMO that you can build yourself in, but yeah, it's some sort of fucking farming simulator, if you believe it or not. And this is actually new. I didn't do a video on this, but I saw it today when I was checking. Let me scroll down here. I guess Mercanti was actually happy. Oh, Atreus is in here. Let's see. Hold on. All right. Shout out to Atreus. Atreus said, "You're stuck in a tough spot. I really think it would have been beneficial for you guys to take a step back and breathe before even responding to this controversy. Because of it, it was my first time hearing of your game, and I was interested in playing." And okay, so he goes on. This is Kushlekov said, "My comment was actually directed towards the people who have issues with natural body motion in our game." You mean Black Girl Gamers and the DEI consultancy companies that you shouldn't have listened to in the first place? Not towards the people who appreciate it. I think it was intentionally misrepresented. Well, you can blame Mercanti for that. She loves to play victim. Okay, let's see. Mercanti said, "I said this to him during our interview, but the farm folk CEO's attempts to not be political are very naive in the current climate. His replies are very telling." Oh, that's who I said it about. This motherfucker. He needs to pick a side of the fence or get skewered on it, which is what's happening right now. He's being skewered on it. Oh, am I agreeing with Mercanti? You got pulled into a culture war because you don't have a CM community manager who was woke as fucking crazy. No, because you didn't have a community manager who knew that titty physics wasn't the move, chief. Then you apologized. Then the titty physics gooners got mad that you apologized. And then I interviewed you. Them's the breaks. Oh, what a bitch. Yeah. So there was nothing wrong with that titty fix. It was the move. It would have totally ingratiated him into the community. Look at this. Look at this game company being open and asking which amount of tit physics we want. That was the right move. And they listened to the wrong people and shied away. And yeah, that is batshit. That is batshit. And now, unfortunately, now this is the connotation that we have with it. These are the people that think that all those books are just nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with them. Yeah, dude, Trace is great. He's also on obviously Saturday Night Hypnosis with Hypnotic. At least that's the context that I know him in. But yeah, for sure, give him a like and a sub as well. All right, this is the big one. Let's fuck. I mean, we've been talking about it.
Gird your loins.
But enough of the foreplay. We lasted longer than 38 seconds. Helldivers 2 players threatened to quit the game after developer announced mandating the PlayStation Network account linking. So, first and foremost, sorry, I meant to do this. I think a lot of people thought that this meant that you needed to make a PlayStation Plus account, that you actually had to pay for a PlayStation Plus account. You don't. And I think also, let me say it before we even talk about this. Obviously, everyone is upset with Sony because of the Stellar Blade thing. And it's a lot of like just hearing Sony is a slowly I turn moment, right? Where like, what? What'd you say? You said another thing? You want us to do what? And even though for most people, it's probably a slight annoyance. Like, okay, you have to make a free burner email and then make a free account and link it. A lot of people were finding out, and also before I get to the actual legitimate one, I think a lot of people just like, if you have like a, I don't say it's moral, but just like a fuck PlayStation, I'm Xbox, or fuck console, I'm PC. Why would it? And just for me personally, I like it too. I don't want to press 1 for English in America. Why do I have to make an email for an account for PlayStation?
I have Nintendo and Xbox and PC. Right. I have too many things.
I don't, and that's the whole point. Is it's just this fucking account. It's just before you know it, you've got 8 goddamn accounts, and it's all just ways for them to get your data. And then it's been pointed out
programs.
Yeah, and it's been pointed out many times, including by Hypnotic earlier. How many times has Sony had a data leak?
Yeah.
Now you want mine? You want me to leak my Steam account, which is 20 years old at this point?
Because you want democracy and freedom?
Nah, son. You can manage your own democracy if that's what's up. So here's how they said. This is what they're saying. Attention Helldivers. Due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allowed the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studio games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. Oh, you accidentally called in a stratagem which killed your team, you're banned. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have a linked Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. This has led to the collective fucking melting down of damn near every Helldivers. Their review bombing went into the 6,000 into the negative. Obviously, while some of this I think is misplaced anger over the Stellar Blade, there are definitely some shenanigans going on. All Sony had to do was offer incentive. Yeah. Free uniform weapon, and he's not fucking wrong. Yo, well, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, because I had to make a PlayStation account when I borrowed my friend's PS4 to play Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man, like the original ones. And so I had it. So I linked it to the remastered version of Spider-Man for the free outfit, because as you say, that is an incentive. They could have done that, and we're going to talk about this, Alec. That would have been great had they maybe had the foresight to do that. But as what we're finding out here, this community manager, Twinbeard, who works for Arrowhead Studios, says, first of all, it's Sony's decision, not ours. Secondly, we don't have all the details about region-related issues yet. We are chasing, so they did this without them even knowing. They're chasing Sony, trying to find out. What are they trying to find out? Well, turns out the PlayStation Network is only available in 69 countries, some of the biggest of which are the Philippines and Egypt, which Philippines definitely has gamers. If this comes into a mandate where you need to have an account in a country where you can't get it, they don't have access to the game they spent $40 on or more if you bought in-game currency. That's a bit of a problem, which means at the very least, if Steam is going to give refunds for this, you are going to see a substantial drop in the player base of Helldivers, let alone to the people that don't play it for ethical, moral, whatever you want to say, frustration reasons, principalities going around in here. And then, yes, that is true. They talk about revisionist history. It was optional, and then they changed it, saying that it was always going to be a requirement. So, and in his game, Grummz here says, I've seen several people theorize that the massive PSN cancellations due to the Free Stellar Blade movement forced PlayStation's hand to prop up flagging accounts. They forced Helldivers to require PSN signups. There is no way to know what happened, but the timing is sus. And if nothing else, that's what I say. The timing was sus. Yeah. I say, and this is the only, this is just the community manager saying that it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter how much we complain. If you have to link it, then I shouldn't have to pay for it twice. Yeah. You don't.
Well, if you have it on PC and PS5, yeah, I think you still have to buy it in 2 different locations.
Oh, yeah, you mean buy the game twice? Yeah, you would. Maybe this is connected to crossplay, but it's weird. Forcing people to do it or they lose their account progress. Fuck their account progress. They can't play the game. You won't be able to play the game at all. So, right. Yeah, that is insane. It makes me want to stop playing out of spite. Well, that's the other valid reason you might be doing it. Well, let me scroll through here to see what he says. So, yeah, obviously, everyone is pissed off about this.
I looked up at my account today. I can't get a refund, but I've only played an hour of this game. It seems fun.
Oh, it's very fun. It's very fun. Here's Spitz. Could have been named Swallows. Sony is the publisher and needs to find a way to ban PC players. Right now, they can only do that by having to send a name to Valve and wait for Valve to action the ban. If players are required to have a PSN link to their stream or to their Steam, Sony can just ban the PSN to keep them off the game instead of having to go through Valve. Got him. Yeah, that sounds exactly what that is. If a Sony account isn't required to play the game / isn't connected to Steam, it's very hard for Sony to track player accounts. Steam doesn't allow us to have any way to keep track of unique player IDs through our system. And since players on Steam can all have duplicate usernames, if we get a report for a user named John, for example, we have no idea which of the 450,000 players named John we're trying to ban. But if they have a unique Sony ID linked to their Steam account, we can tell exactly which John it is. And but now that's obviously bullshit because you could link to their Steam friend code.
Yeah.
But it's that first part. It's that they want to be able to do it without having to third party it, without having to send their Gestapo list. And on Discord, he said that they don't want this. Go ban him for being toxic. Now that's just, of course, my worst interpretation of it. But that's what it is. This bit's doing a lot of damage control. If you dislike the requirement to link your account, you're more than, oh my God, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. If you dislike the requirement to link your account, you are more than welcome to change your Steam review to negative or do whatever it takes to make that dislike known. But attacking Arrowhead devs, the community team, our moderators, or any other person who has no control or input into the change isn't going to help anyone. Well, I disagree. Don't attack anyone. Disagree about your inability to change things, but let's go ahead and listen to him. If you have played this game, how about you go ahead and change your reviews to let them know how you feel about this? The fucking audacity, the sheer fucking hubris. Feedback is always listened to. Most of it is passed on, and most of what is passed on is considered and goes into what changes we make. When it comes to a requirement from Sony that has existed since pre-launch, I don't think feedback is going to change much. Bet. You think we can't handle? You just taught us to have a war on two fronts with the automatons and the Terminids. You think we can't handle a war of petitions on Stellar Blade and fucking this? You want to get dangerous? I'll throw in a third one for Warhammer. You want to get ballsy? I'll throw in a fourth one for hashtag rehire Bo DeMeo. I could fucking throw out petitions all night long. Think this a game?
You talking about people who play multiple games at the same time?
Think I don't know you calling me from a 212 number? Fuck out of here, Felicia. That's it though. We're done. We're caught up through the week. We watched that whole 40-minute video, mainly for Alec Baldwin's finger. Sony makes a game outside their environment. It's a huge success, and they can't see why. Yeah, so of course they got to fuck it up. We're molded by it. Yeah, it's dumb. You trained us to do it. Okay, we will. Yeah, 100%. Let's check one last thing on the 75,623 signatures on the petition for hashtag free Stellar Blade.
It was like 4,000 something, I think, when I saw it last from today alone.
Let's get nuts. I'm pretty sure Michael Keaton asked for that scene just so that he could do a non-masked scene with Jack Nicholson.
May the 4th tomorrow or today for some people. Are we going to watch anything in particular?
Well, I'll tell you, I would have gone into the theaters to, I'm on the C4 over here. I'm all jacked up.
Come at you like a spider monkey.
You better hold on, Spider Monkey. I sort of wanted to go watch Phantom Menace in the theaters, but unfortunately, tomorrow we're gonna go to a buddy's wedding anniversary, so that'll be fun. You got to see us. Maybe we'll post on the Twitters, the Twitch Twats, picture of us in our suits.
We're coming in like GTA characters.
We got our GTA character suits. It looks pretty sick. Yeah, man, that's a good one. Although I'll keep going if you guys want to keep going. If there's anything specifically you want to talk about, like I said, I think we hit everything. The Warhammer one seems to be in a pause, seeing where, because last we heard, Henry's not exactly happy about these changes, but we got to wait and see. Find out how this is. Show up tomorrow on Nerd Rage. Let us know how this was. 10 a.m. on Nerd Wars channel. PST. Heathen time, if you will.
The demon hour.
It is funny how everyone always shows up like at the 2-hour mark. The later you get when you think that we would not have people watching is when people show up. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, we had a strong show right in the beginning from everybody, which we appreciate, and people just coming in and out all night. I love it.
Well, so as long as you start and end strong, the middle is all right. I was trying to see if there was anything else. I think we've got everything for the most part. It's waiting to see how badly they're going to muck everything up. I can't fucking wait for the Acolyte. I'm looking forward to Acolyte for all the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great fucking fodder. You're going to have so much shit to talk about.
Do we have a favorite album and artist? I want to say Linkin Park, just for old time's sake.
That's one of those things where it's like, I mean, what genre?
Yeah,
it's like with movies and anything else.
It's like when they asked me what my favorite movie was. I was like, how could I pick my favorite movie? Like my favorite what movie? From when? It's
Your
like
favorite rom-com.
Romancing the Stone.
Oh, that's a good one.
Romancing the Stone, another movie that Erwin has never seen, I'm sure.
Hey, can we consider The Money Pit to be a rom-com?
I think so. Let's see. Rap, metal, Metallica. Ludacris back in the day was a good one. DMX. What about you? You got one, Rat. I know you do.
You throw out like Dr. Dre.
Like old school. Everything would be considered old school.
Yeah, for sure. Not big metalheads. So, I mean, we were like, what? I guess you would consider alternative, alt rock.
Yeah. What it was like? Limp Bizkit was the first concert we went to.
Oh,
Limp Bizkit and Primus and Stained all playing together at the Arrowhead Pond. Korn. Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah.
The Arrowhead Pond. What's that?
Oh my God. Okay, we got something to talk about. You ready for this? You like Jordan Peele, right?
No. This
might be a nothing article, but Jordan Peele to rewrite Wild West history with Black Cowboy documentary for Black conspiracy theorists. Oh, let's see. Jordan Peele, director of Get Out and Nope, is delving into a revisionist documentary. I don't care what they tell you in school. Cleopatra was Black. A revisionist documentary series with an upcoming project he promises will dismantle the whitewashed portrayal of cowboys in American mythology. Jordan Peele wants to rewrite the history of maybe we were talking about they want to rewrite history. They hate the past. That was produced under his Monkey Paw Productions, that's ironic as fuck, right? Because the Monkey Paw always gives you a fucked up wish, isn't that? That's an odd bit of irony. Yeah, maybe he'll do that. That's Fandom Pulse is what that is. Okay, let's see. Officially described as the untitled Black Cowboy docuseries will rewrite a foundational piece of American history, unmasking the forces that erase the identity of the Black cowboy from frontier history and present.
Jesus.
Stories of real cowboys will take viewers on a thrilling odyssey that connects to the heart of the resurgence of Black. I'm sorry. The heart of the resurgence of Black cowboy culture.
Let it sink in.
I just wasn't aware that Black cowboy culture. I'm your Huckleberry, brah. Okay.
Granted,
Black
Bass Reeves thing.
But is that Black cowboy culture that we see today across music, art, fashion, and film? Okay. Peacock, of course, inspired by themes from Jordan Peele's movie science fiction movie Nope.
Right, because her daddy or her granddaddy, he did the thing with the horse. Cool.
Okay. I guess as all,
he's making his own lore.
That's fine. Can't wait till we start doing that. Jesus Christ. Sometimes I look and I go, why? Why you do this?
You little jerk.
Look what you did, you little. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah. All right. That was the only new thing that popped up. Right. That was the only thing. Yeah. I refuse to watch the Wilder with Kevin Costner. I can only watch the one with Kurt Russell. And yeah, I don't accept anyone else except Val Kilmer as the Doc. And Bone Tomahawk was cool. It's not like, it's a sort of a fucked up scene, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Honest story, never seen it.
Bone Tomahawk?
Correct.
Oh yeah, you should. Jewel and Nile ain't bad for sequels. When will Badger be on? You know what? I've been on like 4 times. I don't know. Can't go on tomorrow, obviously, because I've got the thing and he hasn't asked. But anytime Hypnotic asks, I will say yes if I can make it. So maybe next Saturday. Next Saturday. You know what would help? Sorry, someone asked me this earlier on Nerd Rage. When will I be on F&T? When you guys super chat them and tell them, hey, could you have Badger on? Because unfortunately, that's what it takes. Is you guys to, if you want to see me on a show, you have to go to that show and ask me to be on, so they at least know my name.
That's how you got on the bar.
I guess he did say that people had asked, and I don't take him to be a lawyer. Catchphrase phrase. Yeah, well, I think we can guess. Good movie too, man. All those Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns, really good. Jewel of the Nile or Bone Tomahawk or The Golden Child? Could have been either. Because if it's The Golden Child, I wasn't the biggest fan of that one. Poisonally. Yeah, no. He's going to make a documentary about it where he's going to race swap everyone because apparently all the cowboys were probably black and gay. We just didn't know it.
Wild Wild West.
Oh, Bone. Yeah, it's a little slow. Has a lot of celebrities in it, though. Like a lot of people you would know. The Fistful. Yeah, they'll get to everything eventually.
Yeah, there's time.
Hey-o. Django is my favorite Tarantino film.
Oh, I don't know about favorite, but it's a damn good movie.
It's my favorite. Yeah. The D is silent.
Who's out there stumbling around in the dark?
Stumbling around in the dark. Yeah. Been a lot of lies told around this table. Oh, shout out, dude.
I told my dog the other day he had sand. He didn't get it, but I laughed.
Nothing worse than a ninja with sand. I love what's his name? What's that simpleton down there at the road? Jimmy? Well, that's it then, darling. You just treat him like Jimmy. He's like, you want us to treat him like white folk?
No.
That ain't what I said. It's funny. It's a great movie. Yeah. Shout out to Dr. King Schultz and everything. And that is like
I have your word
movie.
That you won't just drag me on and shoot me in the street like a dog.
Yeah. You mean you won't dress like that? Yeah. No. I like the way you die, boy.
I guess that's going on soon.
Perfect. But yeah. God, has Erwin seen Django?
No, I guarantee you.
He hasn't seen From Dusk Till Dawn. I got him to put that on the list. Yeah. Childhood favorite. And much like Predator, like is a movie that starts off with one movie as one movie and then it switches into another movie halfway through.
Yes.
From Dusk Till Dawn starts as one movie and then 100%. Switches to another one halfway through.
You're watching a bank robbery movie and then boom.
Have you watched the like extended edition? It's like 8 fucking hours of them in the shack the whole time. It's like the full unabridged.
No,
Hateful Eight. It's pretty decent. I'm also talking to Ali. If you haven't, watch it.
Really see, Ack. That's what's up.
Yeah, he knows. Let me see. Can we put 1950s movies on there? Well, you put whatever movies on there. The rule with him is if you super chat him high enough, you could tell him. Like that's why he watched Commando tonight and something else is because he got Tomac super chatted him. Pulp Fiction, yes, obviously. He has seen Pulp Fiction though. He has seen, yes, extended edition. Tarantino had some pain. Yeah, of course. I did. I liked Ungentlemanly Warfare more than Inglourious Bastards. I did.
Yeah,
it might be a hot take. I'm not even saying it's a better like technical movie, or because obviously Inglourious Bastards does have some tighter dialogue and some better like technically written scenes, but just overall. I enjoyed my time more. Maybe I just had fun watching Henry kill a bunch of Nazis and like enjoy it while doing it.
Oops.
Yeah, I have heard about that. Watching, isn't it like 6 hours? It's literally every single one. Yeah, the humor is different, and it's beyond the fact that it's like a special ops team doing something in World War II. There aren't a lot of similarities. But if you were to compare them, if you were to say, do you want to watch Inglourious Bastards or do you want to watch Ungentlemanly Warfare again? I would want to watch, maybe it's because I've seen Inglourious Bastards more though. But yeah, it is hard to compare the two. Let's see. Yeah, man. I think we're going to go to like 22, let's see, 12 more minutes. 12 more minutes. We'll go to the half-hour mark, and then we'll call it. And then tomorrow, we have, as always, on Nerd Wars, we got Nerd Rage, the Saturday 2-hour stream. Would it be 3 hours? But your boy Badger has to bounce at the 2-hour mark tomorrow. So yeah,
I will be kidnapping you at noon. I'm gonna be hauling ass through your city, causing as little trouble as possible, waiting for you to get out.
Yeah, I know, it's going to be good, but we can't rush our people. I said if the people are still commenting and super chatting, maybe 30 minutes over, but it took me a few watching to really like Bastards. Same for Hateful Eight. Okay, so Hateful Eight I liked immediately, but Bastards took me a couple times, and I think that's because my expectations for what I wanted just wasn't what Inglourious Bastards was. I wanted more set pieces, more action, which is what I got in Ungentlemanly Warfare. So, but yeah, the humor and the character work and all that was better in Inglourious Bastards for sure. And yeah, love No Country for Old Men. That's a decent one. So many games. GTA had a couple of these references. There's like a random event where you'll be going along the highway and you'll see a truck with a metal briefcase and a bunch of dead bodies, and it's like a cartel thing gone wrong. You can take the money and then you'll be chased by a hitman, just like in the movie. I will try to be on No Wars tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST. So that is what's up. That is what's up. Yes, I am in California, unfortunately. But, you know, it's corrupted. There's a problem everywhere. At least it's not New York. At least it's not San Francisco and going through the shite on the street. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Lod's sorry to hear what we live too. It's all right.
Everybody knows.
It's all right.
It's nice.
It's better than LA, at least where we are, so...
Sure, but it's like it still sucks.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think we all know more or less where most people are. You know, Gary's got the San Antonio region. Chris Gore's over there, King of Pasadena. Shout out. I mean, it's great weather. It's just unfortunately that despite the continued failing of all the policies, it just keeps happening. Orange County? No, but that is also close. Yeah, no, I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it because I'm in the city of Long Beach, the greater city of Long Beach. So not as shitty, far fucking better than in LA or San Francisco. There's no poop maps around here, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's at least my city had some civic pride for the most part, so they didn't take that BLM shit at all. There's some great footage of Long Beach of like someone coming in trying to loot. And some Crip gang member coming in and be like, nah, we don't play that shit in Long Beach, homie, and kicking him out. So shout out to that. But yeah, no, it's good and bad everywhere. And Rat and I all want to go somewhere where we can have some nice land. Maybe not Texas, but somewhere along there is where you get a little compound. Little compound though. But yeah, still LA County. I know. Don't worry. The shit came down. I've got plate carriers and weapons. They wouldn't know what hit them. Fucking, they're like, oh, toxic mail. Looking for retirement. Yeah. Good luck. Gotta be some place you can stay to be local. I hate when people become expats. I know it's cheaper and all that, but like, come on, man. Start our own place. Be super cool. We start our own country. It's gonna be super cool. We're gonna have chicks that aren't ugly. And no one's going to be invited unless they pass the cool test. Yes, it does. And as we've seen, they could clean it up in a second if they wanted to when Xi Jinping came to do a visit with that lizard person, Gavin Newsom. And so magically, everything was cleaned up and there was no homeless. And yeah.
Ridiculous, right?
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no, they could do it. That's what we found out too. A little politics. I'm gonna do a little Cobra cast here. It's big business. Everything is a big business. The transing of kids is big medical industry. Going to war is big. The industrial medical complex. And this, the homeless people, is all these motherfuckers make $300,000 a year dealing with the homeless. And if they spent their own paychecks on it, it would be done. But if it was done, they would be out of a job. So yes, Lizard King himself. Sorry, I don't know. You must know Gavin, one of you. Yeah, I did. It's just we could all have Star Trek technology right now, but they're fucking it up and suppressing it. We could have all clean cities, and nope, gotta keep it mucked up. Even though I'm still not sure of the logic of why you want your city to be like that. Because it's not like he has some magical clean walled off area for the rich people. Even the rich people areas are fucked up. So where's I don't know. Maybe that'll have to be explained to me. But it is about money. It all goes down to the money. I remember during the COOFs and all that, it was like, why would they this? And when it came down to it, it was all about money and or control. 50-50 split between money and control. Always. Full retarded, by the way. Yeah, full retarded. I hate Gavin Newsom. These people create the problem, then pretend to be the solution. Yeah, well, then they don't even follow their own fucking rules. Why we saw Gavin eating at the French Laundry. I remember that was the first big hypocrisy. I mean, there was a lot of them. But then, shout out to Gary and his wife Mel, who, of course, was a very famous, at least in San Francisco, hairdresser. And that got shut down and was never able to open again. And when they were going to reopen business, they were going to do it with equity, which basically just meant that they were going to let all the black people open up first. It's like insane. And yet somehow Bill Maher wants him to be fucking president. I know. Yeah, no. It's all bad. Oh, good. I'll have to check that out. That is why it's aliens, my dear Watson. I hope so. If you actually believe what they're saying, it's not aliens, it's goddamn interdimensional demon elves. And, they're all really interdimensional demon vampires that are sucking on the collective energy of mankind. And that's why they tried to make the frogs gay. And, I mean, really, that is what they say, is that it's not aliens. It's like interdimensional beings, and that it's the truth is so fucking crazy we wouldn't believe it. I think it's both. Personally. But either way, be more than happy for an alien to land and be like, "What's up, bitches?" And
let's go. Either be friendly or take out half the population. I don't care.
Yeah, well, that was what we found out about that three-body problem, where they were like, yeah, you know why no aliens have showed up? Because most societies just wipe you out the second they realize that there's other life form. That was a good thank you. Yeah, as a little vampire pop Billy Goblin. So you understand that we are on 12 dimensions. Human beings are only in the third dimension. The higher you go on those levels, the interdimensional demons can. So the government, the deep state, and the globalists, they've been in a conscious, capacitatory relationship with them for decades, and of course, and that's why they want to suck the divine energies from the children of the earth.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that's all the shit I've heard him say.
Yeah, that's why I don't listen, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I have you.
Yeah, well, cooked my brain good, but I'm kind of retarded. Well, that's why Alex, he's gone ham for so long. He talked about 9/11 before it happened, 20 years before it happened. He talked about Bohemian Grove and all of them, going and doing the little rituals to the owl god Moloch before it ever came out. And now we got movies like Midnight with the Devil talking about I met you among the tall trees and referencing fucking Bohemian Grove. And it's like, okay, well, we've gone full batshit crazy, haven't we? Full circle. Look at the cops. Do you think they ever turn down overtime in the cesspool communities where they work? The worst. Well, and that's the whole point is policing has never been more effective than when it is community policing, when you recognize the same cops in the same area, you know them by name, they know you by name. That is where it's at. They need to, every group that had a community relationship outreach with cops that was really good. But then, of course, they started demonizing them. And yes, obviously there's the bad ones, but instead of focusing and rewarding on the good ones and making it so the good ones could call out the bad ones, they, of course, divide, because divide and the conquer has always been the goddamn name of the game. Well, and I think the other thing is, whether you believe that or not, you got to act like no one is coming to save us. We literally need to save ourselves. It took the longest time for me to go, it's okay. The adults will come into the room and they'll stop this. Remember everyone dismissed them as just crazy people. It's like, oh, those are just college students. They'll come out and they'll hit the real world, and boy, they'll learn up real quick. Reality will hit them like a ton of bricks. And what happened? Everyone bent over and let them insert cock and ass. And we've been getting ramrodded and our buttholes blown out. Just a little callback for the last decade of fucking their bullshit. So No one is coming to save us. It's time for us to save ourselves, which is why, look at me. We are now the adults. We are now the legacy media. We're the games journalists. We're the movie reviewers. We're the content creators. We're the comics. Shout out Eric July. Shout out Iron Age. We're the parallel economy. Shout out to Alec Baldwin's finger for keeping this channel alive, and the Lauds and the everyone, Joker's Disciple. Shout out for all of you guys just for liking and showing up and commenting. That's what it is, because no one else is going to do it. If we just sat back and waited for this to fix itself, well, it would not be fixing itself. It would only be getting worse, which is sort of what they fucking want. They want us to just sit there and just slip back. And before you know it, we'll be, you know what? And I don't have mine, by the way, but we'll be in our 15-minute cities eating bugs. There's no more fish in the ocean, so they'll be eating that. But we will have the bug paste and our 15-minute cities, and no one will be able to fly anymore. Because first of all, no one will trust flying because of all the DEI hires. So everyone thinks that flying will get you crashed out of the ground because they got someone inappropriate. Right. So it's only the rich elitists will be able to fly that. And yeah. Why do they keep pushing the LGBT message? Why? Why wouldn't they want us fucking each other? Oh, so they have their magical 500,000 or less population. Crazy. All works out. But I guess maybe I just am dreaming, and everything will work out fine. Everything will work out fine. We'll all have castles in the sky made with rainbow clouds. So, all right, guys. Yep, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. Every week, the numbers get higher and higher. I appreciate it. The lore grows. Hashtag booty blowout. You know what it is. You can start spraying it where you heard that one around. Stay angry, my friends. Stay classy. Thank you for showing up. We will see you tomorrow. 10 a.m. PST for the Nerd Rage stream on Nerd Wars. Everyone, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Mr. Techrat, you want to say anything to the beautiful audience?
Does anybody care about the shorts as much as I want them to? Because I've fallen apart and I should probably start making more. Otherwise, yeah, leave comments. You guys have been going crazy in his comments on videos. It's nice to see the engagement.
Okay. Leon is going live, so I can't raid Leon, but I can post his.
He's got more views than we do right now, so we'll just creep
Leon
over
has
there.
been going around. Let's keep in mind now, before you go over to Leon, that while he's been doing it for years, I've only been doing it for 5-month anniversary coming up here on the 8th, even though I've passed him in subscribers. Don't hold that against him. So let's go over Badger Raid to Leona. I'm going to go over there too. We will see you over there. Really love you guys. Shout out, and we will see you on. Well, shout out for you guys staying on. Sorry, I didn't think we'd go this long. All right, go over to Leon. I'll be over there in a minute. Thank you guys for showing up. We'll see you tomorrow morning. 4,000 soon. Thank you. Make sure to like and sub. Love you guys, man. Seriously. You rock. Would like to become like you. Shout out. Hit me up on Twitter. I know someone asked me questions about an up-and-coming YouTuber. If you do have questions, hit me up on Twitter. I will answer. It was Lizard. Hit me up on Twitter. The Angry Badger 3. And I'll answer all your questions, give you the tips that I got. Shout out. All right, guys. Have a good one. Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Later.